I must've went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits, I call right now if you with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room, but darling, I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. Cause being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. Cause darling, I've been looking for you, yeah, I'm looking for you, for you. I'm looking for you, for you. Let's get it now. I'm so up, I could be a pilot, be a pilot, be a pilot. I'm so up, I could be a pilot, beat. Let's get it now. Let's get it now.
back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025. Are you ready to make history? Game number 1 begins now! It is Hazard Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see it, the punt.
Oh, it down a beautiful first! Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this. Oh, brilliantly played!
It seems like Furia might just have numbers, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Foxy, the BDS, steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Fox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked on to be theirs. Winning out the 1v1.
Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian! It's all up to
Rene's been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Simon's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds.
King is manoeuvring here.
Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up to him. Finally finds himself down. Clutch up big. Andy, let's see if the swing. The waiting. Solotov's down. 3 days off. He's also down.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Star Drago, your host today, with my lovely casting buddy, Ravi. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Travis here. Looking forward to this one tonight, Drago. Pleasure to be casting with you for the first time. Really excited to get stuck into it. We got banging games going on today. Got 4 best of 1. So looking forward to a fun evening here, of course, in group stages. Now, hopefully, going to start off as we started early this week with banging set games.
Definitely, for sure. This is a really fun day because we've got 2 great teams, Psychopathus and Valor. These are people who, they get called out a lot for being like too good. They get called out for all the hype. But really, it's just, the better gaming chair, the good earbuds, it's all that matters. But this is what we're looking for today. We're looking for some of the best teams I've ever seen play some nice, good Siege. Is there anything specific you're looking forward to today?
I think my personal favourite part of the whole group stage round robin phase like this is this early part, especially when we get to the second and the third play days, because we've had the first day now. We've got teams that have won their first set of games. We've had a team that have lost their first set of games. And for me, it's about which teams are going to continue to win, which teams are going to continue to lose, or which teams are going to level themselves out at 1 apiece and see where we go from there. I think this is the start of where we see the separation between the good teams and the great teams. And for me, that's the most exciting part of this whole thing.
Well, let's head on to the pick and bans and find out if you're right, because this is going to be where it's going to be a bit more terrifying for us. So let's find out what map we're on. Oh, never mind. That's the standings, even better.
Yeah.
All right, so as you can see, you've got standings number 3 being Valor Esports, NXT in between them and Psychopathus. This isn't teams being separated just because of plays, but just because of the sheer wins. But it's 5-7, 5-7. That is not a big score difference.
No, not at all. I mean, you look at both these teams, you go, they're sitting in the middle of the pack right now. And as I was kind of saying, one of them is going to go and put themselves above the rest of the pack. They're going to be winning. They could win if it's Valor getting a win here today. They'll be up 2-0. If Psychopaths go and get the win, they're 1-1 there even. So they're 2 teams that are really, really close, had some really, really close games on playday number 1. And as we go into playday number 2, I think you are going to start to really see that separation between these 2. And more importantly, I think we're going to be seeing the better team, of course, come out with the win here. And I think it's going to be a really great game to kick off our evening.
Completely agree. Remember, everyone at home, there's 4 matches today. So be prepared, hydrated. This is going to be not just sweaty in-game, but sweaty out of game. So stay hydrated and get ready.
Yeah.
Travis, anything you want to mention before we head on to the next part?
Oh, I think we're all good here. I think regardless of the
Let's
way,
head
obviously,
over.
all 8 teams going to play on through. So, yeah, let's head on over to our next little bit coming up here for you all. That is, of course, going to be
There's the
our map
maps.
ban phase here. And we're going all the way through, just best of 1, start things off, of course, all the way through tonight as well. So we're going to go all the way through to our decider right at the end. And Drago, how you feeling that bank?
Here's the thing. I do like Bank, but it depends on how you play it. If you're playing it just for pelting the windows, it can take hours before anything happens. But these 2 are 2 very aggressive teams. I don't expect either of them to be trying to play slow, repelling on the windows. They're going to play fast, get in there, and then we're going to hopefully see some smack talk. We know that's what they're like. What's weirder, though, is how they start today. Have you noticed that it's Valor starting on defense? Which doesn't seem right to me.
That's
how I know them.
huge.
I know them as, all right, they like to swing everything. They play the attack, then they play the defense. Yes, it's a Fender-favored map. But they normally go Nighthaven or something like that, and they chose to ban it out. So they must have something in their back pocket today.
Yeah, I mean, Banker to me is a really interesting map because it is just so incredibly open. There's a lot of open spaces. You've got lobby, you've got open area. It's in the name. There's a lot of long sight lines there, and defensive teams looking to get aggressive. Those long angles on the flank watch can be really punishing and difficult to take those gunfights with weapons like the SMGs, the shotguns. So I do think of it as a map that, while it is defender sided, certainly more aggressive defensive teams can struggle a little bit with it. So really curious to see how this was actually going to unfold once we get into it.
Valor on attack, Sacred Passes on defense. All right, we're gonna head on to the next part. Let's see what this is like.
Oh, team lineups.
So there's the teams. You got to see Duskin as the captain. Dano just, being a crazy person out of his mind, hopefully clutching the games today. How well do you know the teams? Or should I give you a quick walkthrough?
Oh, give me a quick call up. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with too many of these teams. Seco Pats I'm definitely more familiar with from covering them various places elsewhere. I know especially Sharton can perform some really great engagements on the day. They know Forever as well, some really great players. And obviously I'm looking at the players of Valor. There's a few names there that I've recognized before as players that I know can do some really great stuff. So I'm expecting some really, really good siege here tonight from both these sides.
You're completely right. So we've got Duskin as their captain. You've got Chi-Chi just being a complete menace in the group stages. Well, early play stages as well. And then you've got Nono, and you've got who's a stand-in, but I don't believe he's on today. No, it's Any. Any, the actual player, is back today. So we're going to have the proper 5-stack. This isn't subs in. This isn't their captain or the managers. This is Dennis being a menace. You've got Framework setting up the team. And then hopefully we get to see Chi-Chi knock it down. But for Sacred Patas, you've got Forever Jr. just being the beautiful captain, IGL that he always is. You've got Rafa just trying to spawn pick again. Well, him or Dano. We'll see which one happens. Rasquez, and I believe it's Shorten is how he likes to be part, but he's got an A in it, so I'm not sure. I'll get you back on that, but
yeah,
we'll head on to the next one with player stats.
Yeah. And of course, this is all from our first play day, opening game, of course. So just one set of games here, and immediately what's catching my eye here is Dennis. You see, you called him Dennis the Menace, and I think that's very well justified based on that play day 1 performance there. 2.38 KD. To keep that up over quite a long game, that 5-7 game, that's 12 whole rounds to be keeping it up. That is incredibly impressive to see.
Very much so. But don't worry about the rest of the team. Chi-Chi might have a 0.4 KD, but he's always known for setting up. He's always known for droning, getting the right plays. He is their support, and he plays his job really well. But don't worry about that. You've got Duskin, who's the IGL. He's also second support, and Framework, the man with hopefully the gun plan just to wipe out everyone in the way. Any. He's not somebody I've seen a lot of, so I'm hoping to see him shine bright today. Let's head on to the second team. Cool. The stats aren't different. I was going to say I was expecting a bit more, but I'm wrong. You've got Shorten with the 2.2 as well.
Yeah, Sharton's looking like really, really good off the back of that. A 6-1 on the opening stats as well. That's a really phenomenal stat line to be having. But I'm a little bit worried though. Now I'm seeing this, looking at the rest of the team. Not a single opening pick go in their favour between the 4 of them. Not a single player sitting on a positive KD. I think for me, looking at this Seco Patas roster, going to want to see the rest of the team stepping up. You can't just be relying on your single star player to be going off, popping off all the time, because realistically, you're not going to be hitting a consistent level of performance with that. You need to make sure the whole team's putting the work in. And if you ask me, looking at this stat line, I think that's what's going to need to change today for Seco Patas.
Well, I hope you're right. We're going to hopefully head on to the next one. Here's predictions.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You actually voted. Last time we didn't have everyone vote. So we both went Seco Patas, but I'll change just to be on stream today. I'll believe in our boys in Valor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm backing Valor as well for this one here. I've got a feeling that they're coming off strong from game number 1. I've got a feeling they're going to carry that momentum onwards in towards game number 2. For Seco Patas, I know they can do great things. I've seen them do it before. It's just a case of, I think it might have been a slow start. Obviously, I know they've been the power cut issues affecting them. So there will, of course, be some issues with that. Obviously, maybe not having as much practice time as they would have liked. So for this match, I'm going to be backing Valor. I think they have what it takes to win this one. But I suppose secrets in and that lies ahead of us.
Okay, and then you gotta love it when not even our observer or producer are willing to voice their opinions correctly. They're following as it is, a one split down the middle evenly. Never nice. Come on, we should all back one team. We should all be like the wild game at the end. We'll have to wait and see, though. On to the next screen.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, in that case, then, folks, we're just waiting for a couple more players to get ready to get back into the game. Of course, we're going to start things off. Of course, if you're just joining us, welcome on in. Bank, Psycho-Patterns versus Valor. Hopefully, it's going to be a great old game. I mean, Drag, I'm going to throw you on the hot seat here. Any expectations before we kick things off?
If I don't see an ace today, I will cry. Just this match alone, I could say that happily. I know that these guys are always aggressive, both two aggressive teams. But I also know they like to wait and play it for the last minute or at least 30 seconds and then get electric. So what I'm hoping is we get to see an ace. We get to see an Ashe walk through sight because somebody isn't paying attention. Or we get to see Sledge come in with a hammer and demolish everything. Not like it happened, but I do believe it.
Yeah, and Bank, I think, is one of these maps that, for me, is really good for that kind of playmaking, those aces to come up, those big hype excitement moments to come up. I think, you know, you've got the windows up towards office side. Of course, you see players on aggressive teams throwing themselves out of those windows constantly. A lot of the time, they'll jump out the window, get a kill or two, and then fall into a claymore. It tends to be the way. But you can see these massive hero plays come through on Bank, and are really quite excited for it to see how it sort of progresses on through. Of course, you know, it will be obviously just best of one here. And I think that's the other excitement. In best of one territory, anything can really happen. Anything on one little map can slip by. If one team finds a weakness they can exploit, they can carry that all the way through. And because it's just a single map, they can carry all the way into a victory and come out today with all of the points available to them.
I've got to say, though, I'm a wee bit worried for one point. Thermite rushing. Nobody likes a thermite rush. So since we're on Bank, let's hopefully see some aggressive plays from the Breachers as well. Match starting, let's get into it.
Oh, let's get into it. Social vote 60-40. Valor Esports taking the lead in that one, taking the favor. Will they take the lead in the game, though? Well, I suppose that's going to have to be the question raised. Kick off Playday number 2 here of the group stage. Let's start off with some operator bands.
Everyone's having fun today. Monty off the board. That's a shield. That's going to be a bit more of a pain for Duskin. He does like to play that when he likes to be playmaker.
Yeah, big shield, a lot of ground to be gained as well off the back of that Montaigne. No surprise to see him taking out an extremely prevalent operator. And, well, Valor, you've said they're quite aggressive teams, Grego, and the Grim is exactly where I think that is going to kind of shine through, if he was allowed through, of course. He's an operator that excels in those end-of-round executes, excels at taking space with a hard-hitting weapon. No surprise to see him taken out. And then we're going to get a mirror ban as well, which is quite a common one for Bank.
Mirror's a common one, especially depending on who wants to play it. The player's just saying aura farming, of course. But having Mirror off the board means, as well as Kaid, downstairs hold's going to be a lot more aggressive. So this is going to play out exactly how you're thinking and exactly how I was guessing at the start. It's going to be frag out.
Yeah, all of that defensive utility taken off the board there in the operator bands. Two operators that are just so good at holding ground, slowing down the attack. They're completely off the board now. Neither team is going to be able to bring them. We are still going to be heading down to basement for our first go at the defense here. And you can see where Psycho-Patterns might not be able to bring a mirror, might not be able to bring a Kaid. They're doubling down on these time-wasting operators. They've got the smoke, they've got the Goyo. Two operators that are going to be great for both literally stalling out the time there of the attackers, whether it's fire, toxic babe, whatever you want to do. And as well there, we've got Rakzo over on the Fenrir. Of course, operator that denies your vision, also slows down the attack. So Psycho-Patterns putting a lot of utility over there.
I completely agree. And having the Sami upstairs hold, I have a feeling they're going to have to try and clear the entire game. They're going to have to go through the whole map. Valor cannot let the Sami hide upstairs and cannot let the Vigil walk all over them when he returns. So here it comes. They're going to have to either rush this or plan this out with a long, slow burn. Because you've got two upstairs, one above. Sorry, two above because Fenrir is also up here in Goyo. Then they're not going to worry about it. This is 2-2-1. Either they rush site and kill the smoke and just try to plant and wait for a retake, or they just got to plan it out as they want. Because it looks like they're going to go for the clear upstairs.
Yeah. Playing exactly right into what I think CK Pats really want them to do here. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the side of the defense, on this top floor, on this extended hold. And Valor, they're playing exactly into that. They want to make sure everything is going to be clear. And they've got quite a funky operator line as well to deal with it. Duskin's over on the fuse, and I was just about to talk about Jackal, but unfortunately, he's going to be the first one removed from this game. And that's a lot of roam clear off the board already. But here comes the fuse, chasing down the Inzami. She's going to run, get taken down by Shishi, and we're back leveled 4 apiece.
This is what I was talking about. These two teams will not let this slide. They're going to make it an aggressive fight, pit by pit. But here comes the blitz to get the Vigil. He's stuck in a corner. His teammates calling out for him. He's got to try and go for the fight, but Dustin gets taken out.
I've got a question there, Valor. Where is the support? Where is someone backing him out? Because Sharn's not only been able to take the fuse down completely freebie, tries to go for a second there, does a little bit of damage towards Chi-Chi. Can't quite find the elimination though, so we do sit back evens. But yet again, look at this Valor. The operators that they're losing, all of that utility clearance being bought by the fuse, that's off the board. Any more roamers, they can go about relatively easier now with the Jackal taken off the board. Sure, Dokkaebi still there. Her second logic bomb's going to come through as well, as she has hacked all of the cameras now. But I would argue CK Pats, they're in quite a good position for this end round here. They've obviously treated all the way down. 3 toxic babes still available to them. A lot of utility to work through here for the attack.
Hugh Fenrir still on the board as well, so he can still use his gadget. The Goyos are still planted all over site. They can only drop one way now unless they open hatch, which I don't believe any of the operators have the gadget. No, Sense does. I was wrong. So that's hatch gone. Perfect. They can now drop.
Yeah, opening up the win conditions here for Valor, getting everything that they need to. Of course, you do, as you said, Drago, have to be cautious of that time. Vulcan canisters, as well as the smoke babes, they need to be cleared out quickly, and they need to start doing now exactly what Valor's going to be doing. Then it's going to be sent in on the Twitch drones, scouting out, spotting the players as well, keeping the utility alive here. But really, I think the enemy for Valor is going to be the clock right now.
Yep, 30 seconds. I called it at the start. This is where they get electric. This is where they have to start rushing, pushing, getting in. Has to go down for the diffuser or swing for kills.
Yeah,
Got
question
us,
indeed.
I'll leave it to you. Be my guest.
Yeah, go for it. Right, 20 seconds on the clock now, and the key operator you've got remaining, you've got Chi-Chi with the logic bomb, and you've got Eni over here on that Sense. And look at that, RE objectives coming up here, dissecting this objective in half, giving some free space over to Valor to try and stick the plant though. Smoke grenades are going to be thrown out, but they're completely missing the mark. Rafa goes in, gets the kill, but immediately traded back by Dennis. Valor in a position to try and stick the plant here, but with the cover falling short, they get off it, and it's going to be CK Pats starting off with a pretty strong round there across the board.
That was unlucky, but we all know what happens. They wasted too much time upstairs after they knew everyone dropped back. They tried to set up, but they only had 30 seconds left. It's a bad habit they've had since the start. They'll hopefully correct it throughout the match. They're a good team for adapting. What do you think about these operator lineouts? I gotta ask you.
Yeah. Now, I like the Echo pick. You know what? Bank is one of these maps. It's, as I said, it's open. Echo excels quite a bit. If you can get those Yokai drones, it's quite an often little hidden position in the corner. Not only in the intel can it provide, but also, yet again, if we see a similar round to what we just saw a minute ago, where Valor are leaving it very, very late on the clock, the longer that round goes on, the further it goes by, the more and more power that Yokai drone has. If you disrupt that plant with a second on the clock left, 0 seconds on the clock, that whole round is throwing total disarray there. Such a powerful piece of kit, great operator to be bringing along here. And Valor, well, it seems like they're dialing up the aggression on this time, swapping out the fuse for a direct blitz this time, and they're going to be really focusing on this shield play, and they want to take this ground quickly.
10 seconds left before insertion.
I do think we're going to have to be a bit more worried now for one reason.
5 seconds to go.
The fact that, as you can see, they brought a proper blitz, not just the fuse to try and terrify the people, but to play that aggressive. So I have a feeling that they're thinking, we'll go in, clear out as much as we can, and then just take site straight. They're not thinking about going for roamers, because instead of bringing the Jackal, they decided we're going to bring Twitch's Dennis and just, you know, drone everything, clear everything, make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah. Need to clear out that drone, and it's going to be really difficult to do so, of course. First thing is going to be getting this square pressure. Get it opened up, get it seeing everything. And then, of course, you can hop in, start to take the ground here. And Chi-Chi's going to hop in, take a start there, and take down Rafa.
Ooh, I've got to say this. it's really weird looking at how these guys are playing it. Chi-Chi's got a really interesting idea now. He's either got to try and push and go for the long angle and hopefully get somebody who's trying to spawn peek, but no. Hold on, just got to see this quickly. They're all droning. They're all outside repelled. I didn't expect this from Valor. I was expecting them to be like, all right, let's get in, let's get electric. But instead, they're trying to use their gadgets and their ability to clear off that Fenrir mine that's stuck on the ceiling.
Yeah. And that's it. You need to clear this utility out, of course, and it's going to be a massive loss to the defense as well. And that makes it such a loss there with the Echo, of course. So with him taken off the board, with him unavailable to the rest of the team, I said he was useful late in the round, and he's the kind of operator you don't want to be losing early on. However, pushing stock comes in through early, and yet again, Valor are finding success in this early game. Chi-Chi doubling down on it elsewhere, taking down Dano. It's 5 versus 2 now, and the defense, well, they're reduced down to low numbers at this point. Forever and Shurton fighting for what they can, but Shurton's going to fall. It's all onto the castle. It's all down to 1, and it's a flawless for Valor, biting back in round 2.
Gotta say, that's what I was expecting more. That was 30 seconds. I stopped talking for 30 seconds, and they immediately thought, you know what, this is our time to shine. They'd set themselves up, they got it out. That's what we wanted to see.
Yeah. That's it. They're doing exactly what they need to do there. Valor able to tie it back up and looking a lot better there in that second round. And Seeker well, they want to have a bit of a conceptual change to that one. They're going to be going back up to this top floor, similar or almost identical operator lineup to what we seen a minute ago. And I think the key for Seeker here is as simple as it sounds. Don't give away the early picks. Don't lose the Echo early on. Make sure the operators that you are keeping alive and you are playing those aggressive positions in are the right operators. You're not losing the wrong ones early on. For Valor, I'm looking at that operator lineup, but it just seems they want to up the ante, up the pace even more. We got a Blackbeard with teased with a Deimos. I think they just want to go fast again.
I completely agree. I think this is where they've decided we're going to speed up. We're not going to waste as much time. As you can see, they've decided to change it. They're not bringing the Dokebi. They're not bringing the Ram. It's Hibana, Blackbeard, Twitch, and Lion. They're not slowing down anymore. They've got the momentum now.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting round. See how this all plays out here. Of course, Valor, as I say, really doubling down, locking in on that really aggressive lineup. The defense of Seeker they almost crumbled under the pressure last time. So we go second time around. I do have that worry for them, but Valor, at least for the start, well, it's just going to start as you'd expect for a top floor attack, right? You go out, you start to apply a bit of pressure from the windows, get those claymores down, just to make sure that anyone that does run out from Seeker because we know they're likely to do it at some point today, it's not going to happen. It's going to be shut down immediately.
Looks like they're just going to try and set it, lock it, but I don't think they know where the Echo is this time. Last time that was quite an early choice, but this time they're just going to hold off on it. They're going to try and stun the Asami and maybe go for a pick early.
Yeah, here comes
the long angle backing.
Look at this. Defense on the top floor, already feeling the pressure a little bit here. Shurton trying to play aggressive towards the windows. Does get caught out by Chi-Chi. And yet again, it's just Valor in the early game, in the early round, coming out on top. And it's given them the confidence to just hop straight in here. Seeker do you know what you've got knocking on your door? Because you've got a Blackbeard. Chi-Chi's on the rappel as well, covering the window. They're looking to get aggressive. But look at the damage being done to the players of Seeker right now. They are feeling it.
And now with Blackbeard in, who's just going to be able to kill this castle if he can get the right angle. But that's not the only one who's going to be put in danger. As you can see, there's people going down. Hibana's opening up walls. That's Blackbeard finally getting the kill in the castle. Echo is down.
They know.
He's just got to watch out for the mute trying to go for the swing.
He's going to throw the C4. Oh, no, he gets caught out while he's thrown it. That could have been huge there, but no, it's just going to be Valor. Keep on going at it here. Keep on storming strong. And they're just starting to play this aggressive, quick kill game. And I can feel their confidence getting in. They send the Blackbeard into the objective so early on in that round. And to me, that's indicative that right now, Valor are feeling confident. They're quite happy with how they're playing. First round, it was a little bit of a fluke. The minute they dial up that pressure, dial up the aggression, all of a sudden, it's so steadily, and it's something that Seeker really, really struggling to deal with up to this point in the game. And of course, they're going to unlock the basement site yet again, and this is the opportunity, I feel, for redemption a little bit for them.
I completely understand knowing how these teams work. They've now got this. Valor's got their setting. They know what to do now. They know what strat's going to work. They know which places the enemies are going to go. Seeing that they've got Vigil I'm hoping that they're thinking about this in the long run now. They're not thinking we should be playing for fights. We're thinking that, well, Seiko Palace is thinking that they're just going to try and hold it. They're going to try and wait, waste as much time as possible, then go for the
10 seconds to
retake.
go.
Yeah, burn the
5
time,
seconds
and I
left
think for
before
Valor here, it
insertion.
really needs to be about this kind of aggressive game here. It needs to be about, not letting that time go, as you said there, Drago. You need to make sure when they are getting through the time. Also, can we just look at this here, this Blackbeard? Look at how aggressive he is. He's just swinging everything, sticking his head in windows that he shouldn't really be able to be getting away with and he should be punished for. He's not at all. So we're going to have to see, of course, what changes up round number 4. And as I say, this has been the site that Seiko Palace have historically been able to win. They won it the first round through time, through playing it slow and a very extended map hold. Seems like this time they're doing the same sort of thing. They've got the Vigil all the way up on the top floor, supported by Forever. And well, Deathmark's going to be coming in and the roam clear is going to be dangerous. Dano's going to get one, immediately traded back though with 4 versus 4.
I've got to say, that's the framework we know and love, where he tries to go for the kills, early picks, and keeps his team alive, keeps his team in the game. Making it a 4v4 is much better than having a 3v5. Oh, but as you can see, Vigil and Fenrir are the only 2 that can be tracked by Deimos. They haven't scanned enough of the enemy team. The Lion Pig's going to be able to keep people steady, but it's not going to be able to ping. There's the Asami now getting pinged on the drone.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge here. You can see Forever's going to be the focal point of this defense now. Needs to hold on, but can't quite do that. Chi-Chi is going to find them. And Chi-Chi, speaking of, 7-1 at the minute. Phenomenal job. Really providing a lot of strong entry there on the Twitch. Doing a great job of things so far. And Seiko Pat as well. Sharton's the only one that remains on this top floor, on this roam right now. But they're going to start to feel the pressure sooner or later. Sure, you've got the Deimos that can hunt them. Sure, you've got the Lion. The Vigil is the direct counter to those, however, but of course you do have to consider as well that those abilities on the Vigil, it's limited. It eventually runs out, and eventually the hunt is going to go back on.
They know who's their biggest threat now. It's the Vigil, Shorten just hiding upstairs in office. Well, executive lounge, but the site's downstairs. They know they don't have to worry about him yet. They've got to worry about trying to get in the site. There's a minute left. They understand this now. They've adapted to the right time. The only problem is going to be those Goyo canisters all prepared to make sure that they cannot get in this room. If he just pops one, slowly burns it out, they can hold it for the entire time. The Twitch drone gets taken out before it can destroy the Goyo charge. There's the first one used just by the breach.
Yeah, here comes the utility as well now. Valor going to start to eye up this execute here. The reverse plant in the default position here. Are they aware that you can't do it because of the fire? And Toxic Babe's coming in as well. And Seiko Palace are going to start to come alive. Sharton takes down Chi-Chi, but Dennis does get one back onto Rakzo here. But Seiko Palace in a sort of disadvantage 3 versus 2 right now. But the issue is that Vigil was never cleared out. He can still use the vertical against the attacking team. And look, any plant attempts that are going to be made, whether it's utility, whether it's the roamer, they're going to be denied out. They're going to be unable to stick this one all the way through. They're going to be cut down. Framework is all that remains, and Sharton blows it out there. And I think that round you can put it down to a single player. Sharton on the top floor, not getting cleared out, being a nuisance the entire time there for Valor, causing them massive, massive issues on their attack.
That's going to be hit to their ego for sure. Knowing that the Vigil was there, they knew he was away somewhere else. They couldn't find him. But instead of keeping the ability, keep pinging him, tracking him, trying to make sure it works eventually, they thought we'd get the 2 on site and hopefully go for the plant. Just hold the angle. Couldn't do it in time, wasted too much time again. But
Attackers need to locate
the difference of not wasting time and being effective on clearing. But now, we hopefully get to see a bit more of a difference defense. Knowing how these guys like to play, I'm expecting a bit more of an extended hold. Maybe pulling into upstairs and having the hatches soft and open, being able to drop in the basement.
Yeah, I think a lot of flexibility is going to be key here from Seiko Palace. Open area, it's in the name. It's a very, very wide and open objective. A lot of long side angles, and what I spoke about before the game. A lot of those defensive weapons do tend to struggle on those areas. Rafa, on the tuber out, does have that DMR available to them, and a gun that actually excels on those longer angles. So they've definitely done their homework with this objective, will be expected. But as you said, Drake, I think there's going to be a key part of this defense. It's going to be that extension, both above and it seems like all over the entirety of the map, really. Seiko Palace want to hold on to a lot of ground here, and I think the Omen's really on Valor to see how quickly can they clear through it all.
I completely agree, especially with the Chi-Chi on just on top of the building, getting ready to drone his whole team in. Ram's going to hopefully go for a gadget ability. Perfect. And now they're just going to set up everything as quickly as they can. They don't need to waste time. We're going to see the knock go in, hopefully be able to find the Vigil kill. Sorry, find the Valkyrie? I don't believe. Who's that in elevator? Can you see well?
And that is Shelton. Going to be tucked away up here in elevators. Look at that, hiding through. And this is where the Nook comes into play, as you say. Slipping in between the ranks of the defense here through the cameras. However, position is going to be given away by the FNAT mine, causing a little bit of panic, a bit of relocation, and the game is up for Valor now. They know that there's someone down there, and look, you see Sean getting aggressive to look to try and claim the elimination, but going to be stalled out for a minute by that logic bomb.
Oh, he's definitely heard the Valkyrie hiding, but does the Valk want to peek the knock? Does he know? No, but he can get the pick when he tries to run back to save his teammate, but he cannot get it.
And that FNAT mine single-handedly really swinging that one back for the favor of Valor. But look at this, upstairs on the top floor, Eni gets one over towards Forever. Dano, though, immediately trades it back out with a C4, and it's putting Valor in yet another disadvantageous position here. Chichi, been the star of the show so far. Valor been doing such a great job on these eliminations, on this entry game. However, taken down by Dano, is immediately traded back by the Deimos above. The Fuser is available. There is time, but what worries me here is the operators that remain on the side of Seiko Palace. 2 C4s, when one of them's a Valkyrie, you know there's black eyes all over the place. You can see the dead players of Seiko Palace. They're currently going between all of these cameras. They know exactly what Dennis is doing, and they're going to be able to anticipate it before he even makes the move. This clutch up going to be a very difficult one to pull off here for the attack.
1v2 situation, 50 seconds left. He has to either go for the plant, bait them, or try and pick them off in the easiest way possible. He is Deimos, so if he uses his gun, uses his gadget, kind of switch to his pistol, which isn't bad, but it's going to be a much more difficult situation he's going to put himself into. He's too afraid of the black eye. He might be getting pinged, but it doesn't show it.
Yeah, and that's it. He's got to be cautious as well. And look at that, the Zoto canister being used to deny out the death mark there. It's just even further improving the odds right now of Seiko Palace taking this one. All they need to do is bide down this last 20 seconds, play the clock out, wait for this Deimos to come on in, and they can just take around here. They've got the cross. However, they give him a 3B. Rapper goes down, and suddenly it's a winnable position here for the side of Valor. But with the clock against him, he's got no choice but to swing in. And he's not going to be able to find the elimination. Seiko Palace finally going to break the curse there, going to be able to take an objective other than the basement site, and they're going to be actually taking the lead for the first time in a little while here. Now they're up, guaranteed an even half, going to be going into this final round of it, looking for their 4th.
This is what they need now. They need to hopefully pull away and get a little bit of a lead on. I have a feeling that if they can do this, their attack should be much better. Just from how they've been playing, this match isn't being very supportive. It's very last person standing. So I'm hoping their attack might be a little bit more robust, but we're just gonna have to wait and see with these guys.
Yeah, just going to have to wait and see and hope, of course. Final round of this half here. I think Seiko Palace, you can expect on Bank, it is a defender-sided map. They should be the ones taking this with an advantage. They should really be going into the next half 4-2, I feel. And we're going to be going back up to the top floor. This has been played twice. Valor have taken it twice. Attack really, really great on this one. And I think for me, this round is going to be the different setter for this game in how you look at the rest of this map. If Valor can take it, they go up 3-3 onto their defense. That's an extremely good position to be in. If Seiko Palace go into it, I think to me it shows they know how to respond, they know how to retaliate, and they can finally crack it, even if it did take 3 attempts. So we'll wait and see. Round number 6.
I completely agree. This time the drone economy's been a lot better as well. Drones aren't being just destroyed and wasted quickly. Only one being gone at the moment. The rest are in the back pockets of the players or on the map. So that's a much better situation to be in. He's already up at the breach. They're going to hopefully stun the person, just go right through the wall. Mass rotate. This is one of his strongest abilities now.
Yeah, and it's this unparalleled aggression right here from Valor right now. Duskin is just feeling confident. It's going to be stalled out by an FNAT miner for at least a moment there, so you're going to have to wait it out. They're eventually going to get it, but then this issue. There's a player on the flank. Dennis gets a hop out, finds one, but immediately it's just going to be chaos here, really. Valor going down now, 3 versus 4, but Dennis, yet again, doing a great job. Catches Rafa on the jump out, able to equalise. Back to a 3 versus 3. This one is proving bloody, it's proving messy, but any early attempts to get in the building from Valor, they've been shut right out. But Chi wants to be the X factor. Chi wants to be the difference maker. Got himself into the objective here, and look, nobody's home.
I completely agree. Looking at this, hopefully he's going to get a swing, but no. Does not matter. He gets a refrag by Dano as well. But Sorten is downed, though, in an early engagement, but he gets picked up. Oh, he gets perfectly picked up by the Ace. It's now a 2v2 situation. Ace on the rappel, hopefully going to be able to get the line of sight into the Fenrir, unless the Fenrir decides to be smart. Holds back, doesn't do it. You're going to have to wait and have either the Twitch or the Ace jump in. Ace has the diffuser. Going to have to be the Ace. Looking at this, it's played by whoever gets aggressive wins or loses, depending on if they get the pick.
Yeah,
They've
it's a
only got
bit of
one
no
minute left.
man's. Yeah,
But go on.
not a lot of time on the clock, and a bit of no man's land formulating in the middle of this map here right now. A little bit of area that no one can really feel confident going into. Seco Palace, they don't want to stick their foot in there. Valor, unfortunately for them, being on the attack, it's their job to get stuck in there. It's their jobs to go in and actually get that diffuser down. So they're going to need to get in. They're going to need to try and do things as quickly as they can. 40 seconds to go on the clock here. Utilities coming on through, which likely signifies that something is about to be happening here. The question is, do Seco Palace have to read? Yes, they do. Dano on a great angle, takes down the player, hopping on in, sends them right back out. And Dennis, you could pop in, but you might just be hopping into your doom here. Going to stall things out with Vulcan. Bannister unaware. Braxo playing close. It's going to be Seco Palace taking the lead 4-2.
That's what we wanted to see. Now we get to see how their attack is, because they get to set the pace now. They set it in the first round on the defense of just waiting, letting the enemy fall into their trap. Now we're going to have to be very careful in seeing how are they going to play this out. I have a feeling that because of how their defense was, it was still aggressive, but it was opportunistic. So we're going to hopefully see Shorten on the Deimos brush in an Ace. This is what I want.
Ooh.
Come on, Deimos.
I love Deimos. I don't know about you, Drago, but he is one of my favourite operators to watch. A, because it is a fun ability and it often leads to a lot of aggressive plays, which are just fun to watch. But then B, also, he's just cool. He just is cool. There's no two ways about it. He's got a revolver. He's got this really awesome mask on his face. He's a lover. I love him. He's one of my favourites in the game. Got to be real with you.
I completely agree. Having Deimos, I remember going to the Manchester Major, getting to play him out a bit more against people much higher ranked than me, and thinking every 2 seconds, I should be getting dumpstered on. Why am I winning these gunfights? Oh, the Magnum's perfect. There's no recoil. The entire roster, bar Dano, switches off though. No Hibana gets. Oh no, Hibana goes back again. But the Twitch gets switched for Ying. Deimos getting switched for Gridlock. Oh, IQ getting brought out. And Ace. So they're planning to hopefully breach the back walls and push in as well. Hopefully Chi isn't standing there when the walls go boom.
Yeah, bandit tricking on this one could be a difficult spot. I think this round's going to be a lot of window play, and well, it's off to a great early start there. Sharton takes down Duskin early on, and if you talk about operators, you don't want to lose this early round. Azami's up there on that list. Utility charge as the round goes on. Unfortunately for her, she didn't have much time to charge a lot of it. Only 2 key barricades could have been used. So immediately, Seco Palace already off to a good start, picking up where they left off in the previous half here, and they could just do their work. Play out the trade game, and this round will just sail right into their hands at this point.
Right, they know where one of the Sami barriers are, and they know who's playing behind it. They've got Mute. Mute, is he gonna be able to survive in that room or not? Because it's time for him to fight. They've got the Ace charges, they've got the Gridlocks, they've got the nades. The moment that breaks, Mute's either got to run or stay alive. He's gonna hold the hallway and hopefully try to swing. Nope, he's going back. Smart play.
He's got to retreat there. I mean, this is the issue you lose your Azami. If you had the Azami in that position, you can pop another Kiva barricade down, hold on to stock for a little bit longer. Whereas because you don't have her, because she's unavailable to you, as Valor, they've got no choice but to forego it to retreat, because there's not a lot of positions you can play from in stock without that Azami available to you. And it's just going to go from bad to worse here. Sharton takes down Framework, Aruni being taken off the board, and already we're halfway through the round here, but the defense, they're just slowly falling apart here, and Seco Palace just peeling back the layers one by one.
As they did say, they were going for opportunistic picks. It's a 3v5 with Bandit still on the board and CEO office, just holding a C4. Hopefully, he can deal the damage, but he cannot kill the Ying, sadly. But Bandit gets tagged when trying to go for the rotate by the Gridlock. Not what he was looking for. But he gets the refrag onto the Ying on the windows. Who's in the challenge, 1 HP and the Dream, and gets the Dream.
Yeah, and that's huge there. The utility loss there for Seco Palace is going to be felt. It's going to be massive. All of the Candelas, all of the smoke grenades immediately unavailable to them. The attack, they're going to have to force this through with their weaponry. Suddenly, the only utility they've got is 2 stun grenades, and that's exactly what Valor want to play into now. This gun game. Dennis takes down Forever, and we're back to a 3 versus 3 position where a couple of seconds ago we were going. This one should be going the way of Seco Palace. Is now going to be going the other way. Any with a huge double, leaving Rafa out on the window on his lonesome. Faced up with Rooney barricades, no opportunity for him to hop in without taking a little bit of damage. The read, well, it's going to be had. Valor know exactly what's coming. All you can do is swing in and hope to try and kill as many of them as you can. But with only 20 bullets to do it, and high recoil of 589, unable to find it, Dennis is going to close it out. And immediately it's going to be Valor answering back strong on their defensive half.
Buff my Habana, please. I need more bullets. That is the words I see when I have to see that sort of play. I love Habana to bits. My favorite operator, her and Bandit. But I know way too well that feeling when you get put in that 1v3 situation, 1vx situation, and you just don't have the bullets to finish it. Sadly, Castle gets the kill. But now, we hopefully get to see them go downstairs. We get to see how the strat gets played with these guys now. Yaskin pulling out the Warden. Hopefully trying to go for no smokes, no... What? They've got Gridlock, Warden, Smoke, Asami, and Mute. So they're not really planning on keeping the walls closed. They're planning to stall for as much time as they can. So I have a feeling that they're going to have 3-2-1. No, sorry. 3-1-1. 3 upstairs, 2 on the second floor. 2 on the second floor and 1 down. Or sorry, 1 on the second floor, 1 down. My brain can't do math today. It's just watching this. It's too hot for me. I'm just gonna do it.
It is the heat, isn't it? It's one of these days in Europe where it's just absolutely boiling, and it's impossible. Oh, little stat for us, Dennis: 2.32 rating on the first match of group stage with 8 multi-kills, and currently, well, living up to that expectation here. 10-3 at the minute, best performing player in the entire lobby. Only one to actually be sitting on double digits in terms of kills. Phenomenal, really, statistic there.
I gotta say, I do love how this is working out, knowing the fact that we have to see Dennis doing a 10 now. He's dropping a double number bomb, 10-3. I have a feeling that he's gonna try and get to 15 this match. I'm not gonna brag about it, I'm not gonna hold off. There's a lot of rounds left, so he can or he might not. No caster's cursed, hopefully. I do want to see how he plays this out.
Yeah, if he can keep this up, it's one of the key factors for Valor right now, because Chi-Chi, phenomenal start, 7-on-1 at one point in the previous half. But since then, it's been a little quiet. Since that point, you're now going what's effectively 2-3 since that point. And that hot start, I think, can really be felt for Valor. Of course, they're warming back into it. That first defensive round did go a lot better for them than their last attacks did. They are getting there, but yet again, it's a bit of a slower start from them, right? They're going to work on the clip. They're going to be getting down. They are slowly getting there. They're getting through as well. It was minute 15 of the round gone. They need to clear player out on main stairs. And oh, Sharden treating to those shots on the Vendetta. Just using that gun to all of its effectiveness. And immediately opening pick loss. They have no idea that Duskin's behind. They don't know that there's a Warden right there. This is the freest thing I've ever seen. He's just going to take the Twitch. He's going to take the second. He
doesn't know where the Deimos on the left, though.
Oh, can't quite find the third. So we're equal. But damage has been done at that point. That is a round opener for Valor.
That is not what you wanted to see. But luckily their utility was used and it was useful to them before it was taken off the board. But now they have to go clear the Asami from downstairs. The Habana was lucky enough to open the hatch before she died. So they hopefully get a little bit more use out of it. But it is fight now. It's fight, open the wall, plant with the ace. How are they going to be able to do it?
Oh, they need to clear out this server player first. They're trying to use what utility they've got still available to them, and it's Sharden to find it. Triple on the round, takes down Chi-Chi, and just for Seco Palace, the momentum seems to have switched back into their favor. Now, 2 remain, Dennis and Eni.
Both on site, both have C4 and gas to hopefully stop any plants. They're wasting as much time, but the problem is that Capito above. They can hear him above the hatch, they can't just go picking everything. He's going to smoke everything off, so hopefully they just got to play by sound and audio.
10 seconds
Yeah,
left.
Plant's going to be going down here. Toxic Babes have been thrown across C4 as well, but the thing is they're unable to hit their marks there. And Seco Patters, they're going to be able to stick the Plant down here, and a beautiful shot there from Dano does find Dennis. Eni does trade it back, but you're now in a 1 versus 2 position, and you can immediately see it. The players of Seco Palace, they want none of it. They're not taking any chances here. They're going to run away, use the Deimos identification, and Eni, you've got no choice here. You have to go for the kills. You have to try and hunt the players down. They've lost off the top of server stairs there with the Vulcan canister, but can't make the cross back over. Rafa closes it out, and Seco Palace, they answer back with 1. Keep themselves that lead.
I am wondering if the smoke was just slightly too short when the gas went down. Oh, you gotta love that beautiful replay as well. Just terrifying. If he had just known the Deimos was there, he probably could have got a 4K. But that is unlucky for Duskin, but he did try. But as I was saying, I'm really wondering if the smoke was just too far to the left and too far to the right, where there's a small enough gap on the bomb's diffuser, or just didn't have time. I'm wondering why it didn't get him.
Yeah, I mean, we don't always see players planting behind the chassis. I think he threw the smoke there towards more default positions, towards the wall facing in server, towards the other wall there. And those Toxic Babes, they're not infinite. You don't have as much radius on them as perhaps I think you would have. And it can certainly just be one of those unfortunate mishaps. It does happen from time to time, but it's proven so costly for Valor, because an objective that up till this point has had a 100% defensive win rate the 2 times it's been bought. That trend was buckled in that round, and immediately Valor, they realised it is a strong objective. They should have really had that round there. Off of the massive play of Duskin, they really should have had that. So they're going to head back down it, going to give it a second shot, and making sure that Plants can't go down this time. This is a Maestro.
That's what we'd like to see, having that ability to look through the smoke this time, make sure nothing cut off their line of sight, nothing has to be played. They have to waste more utility to get rid of the Maestro cameras, and they bring the 2 bar to make sure that, you know what, you have to challenge me to a fair 1v1 fight. If you bring a blitz like he is forever, he's going to have to be slowed now. So we're going to have to wait and see how this gets played out. Blackbeard and the blitz, they're not planning playing fair this time. Seco Palace wants to put this away.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's not a lot of players for Valor on this top floor either. Dennis does get 1, trying to make the retreat away. Is going to successfully drop there. And the issue is, you've been able to drop the Thinker, you've been able to drop Shard in the primary entry there without a real response there. And it's just going to get worse for the side of Seco Palace. Framework drops Dano elsewhere. But immediately, the backstab of the Nook is taken off the board. And the attack now, well, they're scrambling with quite limited resources, really, because as good as those shields are for the gunfights, in terms of utility, they don't really bring a lot here. Bar some smoke grenades and some stunts. There's not a massive amount of work with from here for Seco Palace to try and get the Plant down. However, what they do have on their side is time. They've got just under 2 minutes now, a lot to be working with. And if they can get 1 or 2, there is a way back into this one, but it is still quite a tall ask.
I have a feeling I think you might be right, but having Framework, having everything in sight, the wall being able to stay close to the mute jammer, actually, they might just be able to fit through that, but it might be a bit tight. They're going to have to make sure all the fire is gone with the nades. Blackbeard's, I believe he's out of nades now, so he can't burn anymore. He can't get rid of the Maestro. Habana can't get it. They're just going to have to hold the angle and try and destroy it before anything happens.
Yeah, sticking that Plant down, that's going to be a really tough ask right now. Not to mention C4's Toxic Babes littering the lineup of defense there. They've got so much available to them right now. And that's why Valor aren't getting aggressive. They aren't overextending or anything, because there's no need to. They can just try and stick this one through based on utility alone. However, they're going to try and get this diffuser down. It's going to be immediately denied. Yet again, all of that utility, as I said, Valor have got it all available to them, and they're just going to capitalize on it time and time again, and they are going to get themselves the round with 4 to 5. They're still close to equalizing, still trailing a little bit, but Valor, they can now head back up to the top floor site, and one that really worked for them in the first round of their half.
Completely agree. It was good that they finally got that one off the board, and the Framework flank as Goyo at the end was perfectly timed, making sure that there's no chance of anything coming out poorly for them. Even if 3 players were still alive, he'd be able to get them above the hatch. But now that we see them going upstairs again, I'm wondering, how do you think they'll change the strat?
I mean, I think the difference is here for Seco Palace, right, is as simple as not losing entries yet again. You lost to Ying really early on last time and operated that, and it seems like a trend we're getting a lot this game, where operators that you want to bring into the late round, they seem to be the first ones taken out. We've seen it with some Azamis, we've seen it with some other operators as well, as I said, that Ying as well. A lot of operators that we want to be bringing all the way through into the late round, they're just not lasting long enough. That needs to be the difference maker here, and one of these teams needs to work on their survivability. It's all well and good going for these early engagements, because you can start off a round strong enough to just be able to carry it through, as we saw Valor do there. But I think the issue is you lose the operators that are key, that are essential, and without them available to you, you struggle a lot.
I completely agree. But I'm hoping that Valor's going to change their playstyle a little. Oh, there's the Dennis getting forever. That's a great pick to have, actually. That's Twitch being pulled off the board, meaning that... You know what? Oh, he's getting a second one as well. Absolutely beautiful. That's Habana off the board. That's the hard breach gone, except for Ace. he's calling him out. He wants one more.
It. Why are they feeding them to him? Why? What? Valor are just getting freebies right now. Sharton finally shuts them down, finally puts something back into it for the side of Seco Palace, but Valor, my goodness, that start of that round has just been, I mean, I said, a good round start, get aggressive, swing it, it can pay off, it can be costly. And I think both of these sides, they're each finding out one of those two possibilities here. I mean, Valor, look at them right now. 4-2 with barely a minute into the round, and all you've got left is, I mean, good news, the Ying did survive. She's survived into what I'd consider as the last sort of few operators that remain for Seco Palace. Better in that regard, but still, a 2 versus 4, difficult position now for the attack, and they're being locked outside, even getting into the building, and it's all on Sharton.
There's your Caster's Curse working already. It's magic, but Shorten is going to try to still fight this out in 1v3 situation. They do know where he is, or at least where he last was. So they have to think, what can they do? Gridlock is a long-term operator if she can just hopefully throw down enough of her cannon. What do you call them? Spiderwebs? Spikes?
Track stingers.
Track stingers, thank you. Well, if hopefully she can throw down enough of them where the game might crash, he has a chance to win this. I do believe in her. You've got to swing hard and hopefully she can get this pick on the mountain elevator, but she doesn't know, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you've just got to assume all the players of Valor are in those power positions right now. You can hope there might not be one in elevator, and the hope is what's going to have to be. Throw a frag grenade there into the corner. Not quite going to be able... Oh, never mind. That's catch his mark. I thought it sits there and takes it.
Yeah, he chose that this was his time, I guess. So 40 seconds left, 2 on the board, 1 in elevator, only 1 in sight. He's going to have to swing or go for the diffuser. This camera's still up, I believe. If not, they've just got to watch the line of sight. Yep, there's a bulletproof cam, still able to see it. So there's 2 in sight. They know where he is, he knows where they are. You can hear both of them on sight, so now he has to swing and get aggressive. He doesn't have the diffuser, there's 20 seconds left. You want to start us off?
Yeah, so much better here. I mean, look at that. Valor, they were split up before, but now they've come back together. They can play this as a team here. Sharton just wants to try and isolate the Legion, unable to do so. Framework just immediately capitalizes on the back of that there, and just the whole of Valor there. What was such a strong start to the round for them. I mean, we're going to, you know, Dennis with those 2 really early picks onto both the players of the Twitch and Habana, just taking them off the board early on. So much utility lost there for Seco Palace, so much strength lost early on there, and that was a round that I think really was one of those you just have to ride it down to. It was done before it was really even started, and we now move to a really concerning point, I feel, because we're suddenly at a 5-5 position. Winner of this gets a match point on their hands.
Completely agree. And seeing as they brought Clash, I'm a wee bit more concerned at whether they're going to try and slow it down or whether she's going to be used as a walking mirror, just to give callouts and hopefully go for even more aggression. Being able to just walk outside if she wanted with the head down just to hopefully get early picks. But I have a feeling, though, seeing as how they've reinforced as much as they can, except for where they're placing the Asamis to look out, they're planning to fight square. They're hoping for the gunfights to come from there and then just make an all-out battle. Whoever's got the better aim wins.
Yeah, it's going to be a brawlhouse kind of round. I can feel it coming already, and Clash really going to be facilitating that one there. First time it's been brought this half, it was brought in the previous half, was also won by the defense the one time it was brought, however, so definitely possibility here for the defense to make it work. But it's all going to be it's all going to be on these operator lineups here. Really key and crucial ones here, because there are some different ones here. You know, as you said, you've got the Clash, the Valkyrie, the Legion. Some operators that, you know, we've been seeing bits and teasers of throughout this whole game, and they're going to be really defining here. Of course, the attack, they're going to play a lot on that vertical game there. The Ram is going to be really key for that, but to be able to use her, you need to clear the top 4 players out first.
This is where the drones need to come out. This is where the big brains have to be played. Bringing the IQs are great for being able to ping gadgets and make sure that they know who's on the board, where they are. This is where I'd bring Deimos as well, but instead they've decided Ram, Ace, Knock, who hopefully will use their quick steps. But there's the Twitch drone just to destroy gadgets, but only the Legion gadgets can be destroyed. So it's cameras or mutes. That's the only things that can be useful to the players. Knock's just walking straight in up the lobby. Hopefully going to be able to get an early pick from one of the teams, but no, slightly too far to the left.
I like the idea there, though. I really, really like the idea there from Seco Palace. Try and get a freebie off the yellow pings by inserting the look in. I like the idea. And it is definitely going to make Valor feel the pressure, because look at that. They've known what's going to be coming. They feel they've burned enough time on that top floor, and they've just given it up at this point. It's a 3-1 now. Defense, attacker's paradise. They can walk all over it, do what they want. There is a C4 in the pocket of Chi-Chi. Going to be pulling it out, preparing it upstairs, and you can see as soon as that yellow ping comes in towards over in that CEO office, whoever's playing there is going to be absolutely blown to smithereens. However, they have to wait there first. They have to wait for it to get there. And the calls coming through. The vertical game going to be used against the Valkyrie, and Razko going to be starting off the round there with an early start for Seco Palace.
Well, I can't say it's early. It's 1 minute left, so I'm hoping to see a little bit more electricity starting. Maybe a shock to their system. They need to wake up, get in there. The Knock can hopefully walk straight into site and get a couple picks, because there's enough rotates, there's enough kill holes, but Framework decides to equalize it by getting the IQ.
Dano off the board as well, and look at this, that Nook wanting to get aggressive, but immediately going to be forced out there by the Goo Mines, and it's limiting the options in the attack right now. But what is the exact opposite for them is the Clash going down. Such a key part of the defensive plan here for Valor, going to be taken off the board, which then puts them into a difficult spot, because they're now 3 versus 4, make it a 1 versus 4, 2 really quick kills there from Seco Palace. It's all onto Eni, it's all onto Legion with another frag grenade waiting for you. Oh, that is unfortunate. Drops down the hatch and just dropped straight on top to the grenade there. I think you saw the indicator, had a little bit of panic and then jumped right onto it. Unfortunate there, way to go. But I think regardless of how you write it, that was going to be a round for Seco Palace. And they're going to be taking themselves a match point, prompting a tactical timeout coming from Valor.
It's very necessary, but at least it gives us a good sight to see where this can be played. It's match point, so shorten on 16 is a beautiful number, but Dennis and Chi-Chi aren't that far behind. I did say Castle's Curses, hopefully it might be stopping Dennis from rising to the occasion. But what did you think about Eni? Because Eni and Rafa, they've been showing up, they've been working. It's not that they're not picking like gunfights. I think it's just timing. It's siege timing is working against them. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is a victim of siege timing for the both of these players right here. Of course, sitting in the bottom right now is not the place where you really want to be. And of course, you do look towards the top side of the team. Sharton 16 and 8 at the minute, and you look towards the top of Valor. You've got players sitting on 13 and 10 kills. There's some really great performers in both these teams right now, and they're really the ones keeping their game alive for the respective team. But there is the expectation that support players will sit lower. But I do think, generally speaking, everyone across the team is for the most part putting their weight in, and I'd like to see some players sitting in the middle with band, you know, players at the minute, let's say Ramzo and Dano, who are doing almost sort of teetering on that like 1 KD mark. They're floating around it. If they can really step up, they could drive this one over the line for Seco Palace. And I want to throw it back to you now, Drago. What do you think the game plan is from Valor? You come out of your tactical timeout, 1 round, 1 opportunity to take this into overtime. What's the game plan for this round?
I have a feeling it was mental talk. I think it was a mental block that they've had since that second round where they were winning, but they just threw it away at the end. So I'm hoping this is them remembering what their game is, what their plan is. Yes, you can hold upstairs, but don't overextend. Don't put yourself in a bad position. Remember that, yes, it happens, but you shouldn't be challenging weird gunfights like that. That's a perfect example of Asami trying to pick off and not playing it. They're being too aggressive, too antsy. This way, they're now thinking, all right, we have the full site. We can use as much time as we want. Dennis was hopefully going to try to go for a spawn pick, but he's chosen better. Yeah, hatch did not open. That is unfortunate.
Oh, that's a bit of utility lost early on. But at least you still got your head. At least you're still alive. At least you're still, got 10 players in the lobby and you can see the attack. They know there's someone up there, but yet again, it is the Vigil. So elusive, so difficult to hunt. He is gone. He is still going to be running about, still causing some chaos here. And yet again, I think it will be that time that he can waste. That's going to prove to be the real gold here for Valor.
Gotta say, now that Okebi's call come out, the Deimos are here. They're hopefully just trying to kill and waste as much time as they can before everyone just drops back to site and goes to the gunfights. I don't think that's going to work out in their favor. Looking at how half of them are inside, Forever Jr. getting his pick that he wanted from 3 to 10. Framework going down, that's an important player, especially in the Sami. I don't even think she'd use their third. Kiba charge? Correct? I keep calling it Kaiba. My brain's just not there for it.
Oh,
but the Deimos gets... Oh, that's Shorten on 17 going down. Shorten again getting Dennis off the board. That's a hard hit. Chi-Chi's on half health, has to drop. Targeted by Deimos.
You said 15 kills for Sharton there, Drago. You said it a minute ago. He can hit 18. If he can find both these last players of Valor, could certainly get 18 kills, 20 kills, which would be an impressive stat line to end it on. But I think the concern here really is Seeker Bats as a unit closing this one. 2 versus 5 right now. Tactical timeout for Valor, not appearing successful, and it's going to require a massive clutch up here. Seeker Bats, they've got utility, they've got time, they've got death trap, mark scanners coming on in. They're going to be hunting down these 2 remaining defenders. They know where one of them is, and they know the second one can't be too far away. They should be able to close this one out from here.
Ooh, Brabbit was unable to get the Maestro, but he's just going to have to wait and see. Looking at the plant now going down, he's got to hopefully get a ping on him, but he cannot get the angle from that camera.
That's unfortunate, and look, a victim of the vertical angle there. Raxo closed it out, and Rafa finds the final one. Tactical timeout taken by Valor, but unfortunately results in a flawless for them. And for Psychopathes, they like to keep us close. They like to keep out on the edge of our seats. Another 5-7 game, but this time it's going to be going in their favor, and they're going to be getting a win. A bit of a comeback after Monday's game, a bit of an answer back here, proving they're here to play. And for Valor, that's going to be a heartbreaking loss there, because to bring it all the way through to the brink of regulation, all the way through to that precious round 12, and then lose it out, that's got to be heartbreaking, and you've got to be feeling that.
I completely understand. That was painful to see. But I just want to see the stats after that now, because I am terrified of what's going to happen eventually. So I want to ask you a couple things. What were your favorite points, and who do you think was MVP for that match?
Oh, I mean, MVP on that game. You know what? There's so many great players, but you've got to give it to Sharton, right? Almost up on the 20 kill board the entire time. Phenomenal plays throughout, consistently getting aggressive and consistently taking the win when you're getting aggressive. I mean, my takeaway from that game is you highlighted it perfectly before we started, Drago. We expected teams to get aggressive. You said both these teams are going to be going for kills, going for these massive plays. Both teams did that, but consistently, it was Psychopathes finding success in those more often than not. And I think that's really what edged them out here, just to be able to get this victory. And of course, by doing so in regulation, that's going to be really, really helpful for them.
As I said at the start, looking at how Psychopathes' stats looked from the first match didn't tell the full story, obviously. And showing how they stepped up to the plate now, looking at the standings at the end of today is going to be really impressive and really different. So, are you ready for a small break, or is there anything you'd like to say before we head on to the next match?
I think I'm all ready for a little break here. I think do a bit of water, a bit of a breather, because as you said, we've said plenty of times, it's really warm today. So going to do a little bit of a break, folks. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with game number 2 of the day, so don't go anywhere.
I must have went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room, but darling, I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. Just being alone just isn't cool.
Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025.
Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number 1 begins now!
It is Hazard Company Academy! It's Unwanted!
We can't quite see it, the punt. Oh, down a beautiful
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this.
Oh, brilliantly played! It seems like Fury are 9 just outnumbered, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Poissy, the BDS steal that round for Furia. He's working a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Pox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked on to be theirs. Bring out the 1v1. Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to base. He's been here before. He does it. step across. It's all about this 1 versus 1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Cyber's got 3. We're down towards this last 30 seconds. Bitter King is manoeuvring here. Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up Tim. Finally finds himself down now. Users has got to clutch up big. Andy, let's see if the swing. They're waiting. Solotov's down. Rene's off. He's also down.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Star Drago, and with my lovely caster. You want to introduce yourself again for anyone who's not been back?
Yeah, welcome in, folks. I'm Travi. I'm going to be here as well with the wonderful Drago, taking you all through our second game of the day. We started things off with quite a heater of a game. All rounds in regulation going to be required for that one. Of course, Seco Paz able to get the win over Valor Esports. And now we pan our eyes over towards our second game, Turks LFO versus the Gunners. And I've got to ask you, Drago, what are your expectations? How are you feeling for this one?
I'm excited, but I'm worried. From what I know about Sicko, Padas, Valor, that was fantastic. That was how I expected it. Those two great teams who've got very different play styles, one being a trident and the other one being like a tank. This time, it's a wee bit more, how would I put it, Challenger CL team versus, it's David versus Goliath, actually. You've got the I believe Class E, Class C team, and then they're just going up against Titans, people who've played in Challenger League who are doing fantastically well. So I have a feeling that Turks LFO might walk away with this very quickly, very easily. Or this is going to be something that surprises us and just out of nowhere, Gunners is just going to gun, and keep going until there's nobody left.
Yeah. I mean, anything can happen, right? Of course, for anything to happen, well, we're going to need to have a look at some map bans to actually see where we're going to be settling this one. And if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the maps available to us. A map like Skyscraper, to me, it's always chaos. It's not a very popular map here. It's been here a while, but it's, of course, not been played a hell of a lot. And it's one of those that anything can happen. And I think it's perfect map for, as you say, Drago, that David versus Goliath battle that we're going to be seeing here.
Skyscraper, I do love it, but it's not what I was expecting. From what I remember, we didn't have a lot of Skyscraper just during the qualifiers, during the playoffs. Didn't have that. So the fact that it's coming out now is a really niche pick. So I'm wondering if this was Gunners trying to get this map, or if it was LFO trying to get Consulate and then Gunners banned it. I'm kind of worried now. I'm not sure how this has been brought into the situation, but I'm hoping for the best. Let's go into player stats.
Yeah. And
Ooh,
look at the
look at that
lineups
lineup.
here. I mean, they need no introduction, do they? Turks LFO, you've said it, we all know it. A team with the weight of expectations on them right now. 7-3, previous game, of course, they turned into a forfeit victory for them. So they Turks LFO, we know their quality as a team, and it's really, really in the ballpark of the Gunners right now to see what they can do with this one, because, of course, they've got such a formidable team going against them, and they've got some great players on their side, no doubt about it as well. But I do have to wonder for them, what is going to be going through their heads right now? What is the game plan for this one?
Well, looking at how the players are, I've got two really good inklings of this. That Turks LFO decide, you know what? Let Bidoof walk all over them. Just carry everyone. Don't worry about it. Or we're going to have Robbie. Yeah, Robbie. Just, fight, win, slash, attack. Just try and stall for as much time as possible. Because this is, as I said, a David versus Goliath, but I don't know who's the giant. I don't know which one of these guys are going to decide this is our time to shine. Let's head over to stats, and hopefully yesterday's play can give me some sort of insight. Let's see the Turks.
And that's the thing. I think the Turks, as we said, they had quite a dominant game to start off with, and that's reflected in the stats right there. Almost all of the players sitting on a positive KD by quite a significant margin as well. Some of them, Bodel, Fiza, over the 2 mark. And look at that entry stats as well there. Overall, across the entire team there, That's 7-3 on the entry stats overall. They're a really, really great entry line for them. Funnily enough, the exact same score for the game. And Bodov as well, 100% on the cost there. Phenomenal stat line coming up here from Turks LFO.
All right, let's switch over to Gunner's stats here. Kevin, I do believe that hopefully today's the day we're going to see these guys shine properly. MX did not hold back at all. So the fact that we have a team called Diavolo and now we've got a guy called Diavolo means that this should be a good luck sign, right? We're going to hopefully see some aces. We're going to hopefully see what I've been praying for, some really great plays, maybe a back-to-back one. But these guys aren't going to let go. We've got a guy who's got built and demon. Well, built EM1, but he's built like a demon. I'm expecting a lot of hard, fast plays. Anything you see from here, just from the stats?
Just from the stats alone, I mean, I've got to be honest, for a David versus Goliath, I'm so surprised to see that Gunners was stepping up to the mark as well. And, well, of course, we are going to be getting right into things.
Perfect.
Skyscraper is going to be coming up. The social vote, that is damning. 100% towards the side of Turks. Of course, the weight of expectations, we know how much of a toll they can play up, but defensive side start as well for the favoured team. That's a really great place to be with how defender-sided Skyscraper can be. But first and foremost, we've got some operator bans to get through. Both these teams like to get rid of the Blackbeard.
It is a Blackbeard. It is Blackbeard. You got it right. No shield Blackbeard today, so hopefully we might see a Blitz, but I'm thinking it's going to be a Thatcher. Somebody a bit more utility focused on getting rid of things. Maybe even Flores.
Yeah.
Have fun. Good luck. Have fun. They're all going to get full send. Taylor, please say hi to me. Aw. All buddies, all friends. There's Monty gone. There's 2 shields out of the way. Nobody's planning on playing this safe.
I mean, the shields, with how horizontal Skyscraper can be at times, the shields can gain a phenomenal amount of ground, and they're a really viable tool for the attacking team, and especially since they've reworked almost a year ago now, just over, actually, they're so much more viable for getting that ground, and well, we're going to actually see the shield badge triple on down. Clash being taken off the board there, yet another shield operator, all gone, taken care of, will be seen no more. And as we move to our final operator ban now, can confirm it will not be a shield operator, and it is indeed going to be an Azami.
I think she counts as a shield operator, right? You can place them like shields, like how Goyo used to be able to. Just a full, I guess it counts, just for technicality.
For technicality's sake, we'll go with it counts, I think.
I love the synchronized Black Dragons background on the Turks. Beautiful, respectful, I love it.
I love it when a team comes in and has the synchronized background cards.
Attackers need to locate
It's just that
and
little
defuse
bit
bombs.
extra that just makes it look so nice. And, well, the map of Skyscraper, it's a real looker. Very nice visually looking map. I don't think that's going to be the way for long. Turks LFO, you can already hear those shotguns going through, making up key rotations, opening up key points for this map here. Of course, you can see their shocks. Oh, playing that, Bodov, sorry, on the mirror. Already making that opening up from Geisha inwards towards Karaoke objective. Already setting up things key here. And of course, a lot of defense are going to be going over towards that eastern side of the map, over towards office exhibition area, trying to hold that one down. And the key there is going to be burning a lot of time.
Geisha control is going to be ideal, but having Bandit enemy on the board is very integral. But I'm hoping the Bandit's just hunting for drones now, because we're already gone. So this is going to have to work out in the best way possible for them. Either they hold the entirety of top floor because they're bringing the mirror on the far side as well. Wait, is Bandit just going to hold Geisha on his own? Because that sinks home to me so much. Bandit praying on his own just to stay alive, but it does not matter because he just had to get the pick on the Noma. That's a big point off the side for Gunners.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge loss there early on. All of the flank watch that you can take and with you along is going to be brought completely off the board there early on. That is going to be a massive loss there. Dealt, of course. The Turks LFO, they do like to get aggressive on occasion. They do like to play that quite flexible style. And that's exactly what the idea of the Nomad is, to counter that with there. So she's completely gone. Not going to be going in towards the rest of this round. Of course, you do have MX on the Deimos, as well as Greycoat over on the Dokkaebi. Two operators that can do their own clearing, but it's going to be difficult to do so. And, well, Turks, I don't want to get a bit aggressive, but aggression is going on elsewhere. C4 thrown, not quite finding its mark. and still 5 versus 4 for the time being. But look at this, Turks are wasting a lot of time here over towards the softest side, and the roam clear struggling early on. Shoxel taking a little bit of damage, but still standing.
There's 3 of them here trying to push out the blitz. Well, hopefully acing at the sneaky line of sight, but no, it gets destroyed. That's very unlucky for them to see. So now they either have to push in and go for the kill, which Greco gets the kill on Dokkaebi. It's beautiful getting a shot. I mean, it's off the board. Now they just have to clear out the rest of Geisha and Tyrum, and hopefully they can win this. Just leisurely stroll from back to Dragon. Blitz is not doing his best.
That's the goal of a Skyscraper here. You've got to make that push across. You've got to try and clear the ground here. Of course, that's going to be the goal here, Turks. They've done a good job to burn the time. Only a minute left on the clock here, but they're still looking to hold these aggressive angles. Frag Grenade's going to go, force the player back from behind and deploy the shield. Good start there from the side, of course, for Turks, but it gets better forward, and Bolton's going to be falling towards the C4 from Gunner, but Greco does immediately trade it back there with the SMG-12, keeping things even. 3 versus 3, but there comes Salim. Takes down MX there. Looking to get aggressive, looking to try and find it. Swings out, gets another one, and it's all onto this Dokkaebi. Low health. It does get one backwards the other way, though. Ace clutch up going to be required here for the Gunners to keep in this round here, and they're going to need to shoot their way through everything that they've got for them. Of course, time against them. Clock ticking down. It's going to be a difficult one to go for here. They're going to be swinging on. They're going to be going through in towards Geisha, in towards Karaoke. They've gotten themselves objective control, but Turks are willing to forego that because they've got something else in their pocket. They've got a clock. They can just tie it down. Both the time, and Bodolf finishes off the round with a C4.
Worked out well. It just had to hit the Dokkaebi though on the door. That's unlucky. But looking at how they played, I feel like that's Turks setting everything into motion. Yes, you guys can rush us, but we're going to have backup plan upon backup plan upon backup plan. Just looking at it, it's so nice and peaceful, but having the Blitz, the Deimos, the Ashe, and the Dokkaebi, and the Ace coming out like this means that they've got the same strat ready to go for a second time. Hopefully this time to win, but playing in reverse. Coming from Geisha, making their way through Black, through drums, and hopefully just being able to take it. But with the extended hold as always, it's always going to make it trouble for them.
Yeah. And that's it. It's that extension that can prove ever so difficult to clear here on Skyscraper, because regardless of which objective you're holding on this top floor, the goal's mostly the same. It's just kind of inverted the other way around. You start over towards T Karaoke side, working your way to Exhibition, or vice versa. There's a lot of order here that needs to be done here for the side of Gunners, and it is a very tall ask. Of course, Skyscraper, we have to say, it is a very defender-sided map. There is the expectations here that Turks will get some rounds off the back of this. A little towards tertiary bomb site, of course, that first floor one to see, of course, using, but it'll have to wait and see, of course, how it all ends up formulating on the way through. And right now, well, it's going to be that start to clear from the side of Gunners, really focusing on the clear on this time around. And of course, they're bringing on the Ashe over there of Robbie to see what he can get going with that operator, because we know when she's aggressive and she's sent in, the damage she can really do.
I completely agree, but having the 2 brow is going to be a wee bit more dangerous for the Deimos. Being able to slow down. No more shields now. They've decided to bring Gridlock. So I'm hoping this works out for them how they think it is. Because it's holding the angle. Ooh, can he get the line of sight? Ashe is trying to kill the bandit, but will not be able to get the shot in Geisha.
Yeah. They need to get this shot through. They need to try and get it. Players trying to cross back from the side of Turks. They're feeling the pressure right now, but they're still standing. That's the key. Eventually, they are going to be retreating away here, but look at this. Gunner going for an aggressive pick, going to try and find something. Eventually, makes a retreat back here across drums. Explosion from below. Matter's not going to get through. And look at that. Reinforcement done. And I'd say the job there from Turks is done. They've burned some time and kept everyone alive.
Everyone's got back. It's a minute and a half left. They can now hold the power angles and hopefully be able to get this cross onto Gridlock or Deimos and then try to look for the second floor hallway. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. This Ashe with the this Ela with the pistol, always so aggressive and terrifying. Deimos versus Ela, whose pistol's better?
Oh well, I gotta say the Deimos pistol is much better itself, but Well, no one's going to be hitting their shots just of yet, so I suppose we're not going to find out for just a little while. Who will be shitting their hots, though, is MX, who's going to be taking down Gunner there, but Vodov already there for the trade, but yet again, Gunner's there with the trade game, and that's really working in their favour there. Shoxel does take down one, and Robbie yet again back with an answer, and that's proving so successful right now for Gunners because they're just playing this trade game and they're just coming out on top consistently, reducing Turk's LFO down to 2. And Fiza having to play behind Dragon here with the pistol, gets taken a lot of damage, wants to swing out, gets punished for it, and now it leaves poor old Slim in a 1 versus 3.
Oh, everything's just going to collapse in the end. It's very unlucky for the Kai to peek and then having 2 people there, Dokevi and Ash. But he got the trade, but could not finish it.
It's unfortunate.
Gotta say though, seeing as how these guys have played, do you think there's any way they can improve it? Any way they can improve the gameplay right now?
I think for Gunners, they're really impressing me so far. That trade game they were doing in that round there, that kind of a mid-round, really successful trade game. In terms of improvement, I'm surprised to see Turk's LFO let them get away from that, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't expect them to let Gunners be getting away with that, but they got them, let them get away with it regardless there, really. And they're going to be completing the full site rotation, which, you know, that top 4, it didn't go 100% to plan, of course. Of course, they're going to have to, of course, could have the option to go back up there yet again, but instead going to choose to fall away, back down towards Barbecue. The other site that we do see here and there on Skyscraper, of course, often forced out as a tertiary bomb site. Normally, this is the round where we're looking for the attack to start getting something going, but now I'm going to be looking at the defense. They need to be coming out of this first little chunk of the game 2-1.
I completely agree. But now that the round's about to start, I'm thinking that the Maverick play is probably going to be the right thing. They're not thinking about bringing Thatcher and Thermite. They're thinking, let's pop a hole in this and then hopefully breach the wall. Or at least make some really smart plays, killing off the mirror. The Asia was important, as I said. But having the Twitch and the Maverick means that they're not planning on letting it be held by the defenders for long. They're planning to go in and get the kills. Ooh, hold on, let's see. Is he gonna yeah, he's just gonna rush for the wall, pop a little hole somewhere. Oh, I just remembered. Maverick no longer has nades. Oh, my heart still breaks about this, but it does not matter. The C4 from Bandit. That's painful to see. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, you said Maverick no longer has nades. Maverick no longer has a life, unfortunately. You're going to be taken out of this one, and that is going to be a massive loss there for Gunners early on. A key hard breaching operator, their only hard breaching operator, taken off the board from quite an early spot there, and it makes this one difficult here. It's a good early pick. Of course, we've seen them come alive, funnily enough, on the gun game so far before, so I wouldn't count them out just yet of this one. There's still definitely potential here, but it just got a whole lot harder. You can already see Bolton wanting to swing on towards his Ella. Fiza already playing close up top black stairs with that pistol in hand, shotgun behind it, but here comes the Deimos. Shoxel takes down Robbie elsewhere, though, and this roam clear is rapidly falling apart here, and look at that, faced up with a mirror window. What can MX get going? The castle barricade there, attempted at least, but not going to be able to find it. And it's already struggled here from Gunners in this round. They're going to recover the diffuser, push up towards this Geisha position, but we don't have any idea how close the player is there from Gutter on that window.
No, but Bandit's now decided to play it safe, which is good. You don't want to make this a 3v2. So, sorry, a 5v2. Luckily enough for now, they've got everything set up how they want. Everyone's hidden, everyone's back on site, site's safe. You can't get in without going for the castles, and you can't go out without trying to challenge an Ella, or, in this case, Ella with a shotgun, which I still don't like, but I know it works well.
It's a fun shotgun. I'll give it that. It's a really, really fun spammy shotgun, the FO12. It can do a lot of damage, and I suppose when you've got a good pistol to support, it's not a bad option. I'm still more of a Scorpion person myself, but each to their own. And speaking of each to their own, well, Salim holding down the tight angle here on Barbecue. UMP with the ACOG knows about the player, sees the Dokkaebi, going to give the pings across, prepared for the swing, going to be spraying back and forth. No one quite able to hit the shots just yet. Tempting fate, but look at the clock. 20 seconds to go here. Time is against the Gunners right now. And all the players from Turks, they've barely moved the muscle all game here. Visa finally starting to feel some pressure, but Salim alleviates it with one towards MX. Salim as well with a second towards Greco. And Bolton, all that remains here. Up from above, and Salim close it out. A massive triple kill there. And it gives Turks LFO their second round.
Gotta say, that is exactly how you want to play that. making sure everyone's back on site, both bottom and above are held so demos cannot come in and shoot you from the floor. That Skull's Fenrir scared me for a second just looking at it. But as I can say, this is what we want to see. They're now changing up the operators, not using the same strats, even if they're in the same places. So we're going back to karaoke tier one more time. So I wonder how they're going to play this. Are they going to do the same thing as they did when they were trying to hold downstairs? Or are they going to try and just, keep Geisha good, keep it clear, don't worry about it, use the Fenrir if it needs to, but for now, off-site. Everyone off-site, we don't care. Because it looks a bit more like a rank setup now that I'm looking at it, actually. Wow.
It's definitely an interesting setup here from the side of Turks, of course. A very much sight be damned kind of setup at the minute. Of course, there is always a lot of weight and a lot of diamond on this extension on Skyscraper, so you will see teams play into it, but it does leave an opening. It does leave a possibility for Gunners to go in and go for the backstab. Whether they run into that or not, I suppose we're going to have to wait and see. But look at that, site's completely vacant right now. They could just hop in through the windows, and Turks LFO would be in a really difficult spot to try and respond to it. They do have players below, they do have some nearby, but yet again, it's just going to be quite an opening on site. But Gunners, I don't think they're going to want to read into that. From at least where they're lining up here on the picks, they're still doing their drone work, still trying to identify the goal. And the goal is still going to be that clear, right? They're not going to play this direct site push. They're going to need to get rid of these rovers first.
I'm going to try and hunt down the Valkyrie, 3 people hopefully pushing in and get the kill. But he's not alone, going for the Twitch, getting put down. Oh, that is unlucky, but it's traded back and forth with the Blitz now getting taken out by the Valkyrie as well.
And another one. Oh no, Bodolf, what a phenomenal bit of shooting there. Takes down Robbie, and it's all down to 1 on the side of Gunners. That is really unfortunate right there. I mean, you're now 1 versus 3. Turks LFO, I mean, you said it, Drago. It looked like a bit of a ranked setup. It's playing like a little bit of a ranked round. We're a minute in, there's 4 players left in the lobby, and 1 of them are on the side of Gunners. Turks LFO, 3 versus 1. They can just wait this out all the time in the world, but they're not going to wait. They're going to want it done here and now. Salim with a huge C4, and Turks LFO on this 2nd floor karaoke site. They seem a bit unstoppable.
That timing, if he had just decided to pull the trigger instead of choosing to wait and waste time, he would have actually had more time for his team to talk and discuss strats while staying alive. That's the kind of round where you want to play it as an eco. You want to be like, all right, everyone's dead. We need a 1-minute timeout without using our in-game timeout. That would have been the best time to do that. But instead, the C4 just had the detonate. If he chose to detonate the breach charge, he could have had that time. Oh, it's very unlucky. Oh, wait, what is the setup? You're going to have to explain to me a bit more. Because I bring a kite because it's easier to hold a wall. These guys have abandoned. He's not even on site. So you're going to have to explain to me a bit more. How do you hold office like this?
With a lot of difficulty, you hold office. The goal here for Turks LFO is clearly this extended game. They can tell it's where Gunners have really been struggling. So far, these roam players, a lot of emphasis on the roam from Turks LFO. It's in this roam game. That's the goal. That's really the plan. And I think the thing is, Gunners, they're not playing into this idea that objective is vacant. They're not really letting the objective go. Look, you've got 4 players on the opposite end of the map right now for the side of the Turks and Gunners. I guarantee you they're still going to try and fight them, and I think that's an issue for them, and it's something they're going to really struggle with if they keep going.
Pushing the Panda charge as well. That's just mean. But the Mozzie gets a lovely pick onto the Ash. Not a lot of utility, but a good amount just been taken off the board. That would have been really helpful to get the castles down.
Yeah, it would have been so helpful, because now you're going to have to burn through other utilities to get those castles as well, and the Ash as well. Such a great operator that is for those entry engagements, for those early gunfights. Could have been lost completely early on here, and it's just yet again another thing stacking up against them right now, and it does make me worry a little bit for Gunners here, because right now, look at this. Shoxall, no fear in the world. On terrace, getting aggressive from behind the table. And, well, aggression will finally be punished elsewhere. Bolton's going to take down Gutter. But it's still a 4 versus 4 right now, and you can still feel it's going to be a little bit scrappy regardless of how this one concludes.
I've got to say, the fact that Legion's the only one on site. B side is completely empty. 4 people could just walk straight through the B window, but I don't think they've done the drone work this time. don't think they've looked for sight. There's a reason that everyone kills the drones at the start of the round. They want to go, okay, we want to know where sight is. We want to know which operators do they have. In this case, it's we don't know where sight is, but we know where the people are. That's what we want, which is gonna come back to bite them, I think, in the long run.
There's so much free space to gain by attacking that objective right now. And sure, eventually Turks, they are going to fall back there. But yet again, it's been open for so much of this round. And Gunners not really capitalising on an opportunity that I feel has been sitting there now for a couple of rounds on the silver platter. As the confidence of Turks grows, the more outrageous these setups tend to get, the more aggressive they tend to get. And look at this, they're already starting to push back up, try and reclaim territory here. They don't need to. You've got a minute on the clock here. Defense, you can just sit patiently, wait for the attackers to come into you, because right now, they're just trying to fight with scraps. They're trying to fight with what little they've got available to them. Sure, players Turks, they might not have the HP, but it's still going to be quite a good position for them to be in for these final 40 seconds.
I've got to say, having two people in Dragon makes it a bit more antsy. Just because, yes, they know where one of them is, but Deimos only has 2 scans. He's got a Mozzie and a Castle. So whether he uses that as, all right, we know where this player is, or we don't, is going to be very dangerous. But the mute drops and gets picked off, but the Deimos is going to get refragged by the Castle. If he'd used his gadget, he might have known, but hindsight's 2020. You've got 15 seconds left. Farmer's going for the wall and the Dragon. Hopefully going to get that dagger, but it does not matter. Oh, he's looking for Shulks. They just chose not to drone it. He's been there the entire game.
Shock's always going to punish. I mean, you hand Turks an opportunity, and they're certainly going to be taking it there. And the issue, I think, there for Gunners was just a bit of time at the end. So much wasted early on there in that round. So much wasted fighting that roam game, which you don't have your heart in as the defense. You're not willing to die for it because it's just the roam. It's not the objective. You've got map to fall back to. You've got sight to fall back to. So much space for Turks LFO to retreat away. They're not going to die there. They're going to run away with low HP. And I'd like to highlight this here. Really, really great trade game from Bodov. Of course, Bowen on the day, Moss did have the work cut out against him. He was done a phenomenal job to get the first, but then unfortunately been unaware of the second. Yet again, an issue, just saying, Dragon, that droning. And speaking of Bodov,
wow, you got 100% KOST on the first playdate. That's impressive. As somebody who doesn't actually play comp enough, I can say I think mine was 10 when I first started playing, and it slowly rose over time. This guy better than me by 100% already.
5 seconds left.
100% cost, that is a rare sight. An impact felt for those of you new to Siege, new to joining us here. Kills, objectives, survives, or trade. One of those 4, you achieve it, you get a positive cost point for that round. So basically, Bodov had an impact in every single round of that previous game. And a stat line that is rarely achieved and can only be done by some of the very best players we do have. And speaking of, I'm going to keep talking about the confidence side of it for Turks. Here comes an operator that spells a little bit of roam, a little bit of fun, and if an interrogation, dare I say it, pops into existence, could be a lot of fun. Gunner over on the Cav.
I'm hoping this works out well for them, but as you can see, Castle's already getting a little bit of damage from the Maverick. So I'm hoping that they've decided they know what they want to do. They want to clear downstairs, get the Castle, use the Deimos' ability to shoot through the floor. But they now have to worry about that cap. That cap's going to be in the back of their head every time until the moment they forget and they get interrogated.
Yeah.
Drones are finally coming out and being used for more than 2 seconds to get shot.
Yeah, and look at the intel they are providing there, identifying the utility here, and I've got to say, this is much better from the Gunners, really pushing up now. And sure, the objective is downstairs, they've still got quite a bit of room to clear, and yet again, what really concerns me is that Cav. She's down below in bathroom, ready to flank, and if no one knows she's coming, she can certainly be a problem here. But for the side of now, Gunners off to a good start in this round, but they need to try and find something to give them that edge right now. They've got a start, that's positive. We're on equal footing, which is better than what we've seen from them thus far. But we need to find that little bit of an X factor, that little bit of perhaps a pick, perhaps some really, really quick clearing of the rest of the map here. We need to find something that's going to put everything into their side. Right now, we're quite even, and Turks LFO, they're quite happy to play even.
Ooh, Schultz getting a lovely pick on the Mira. That is not what you want to see. And hopefully we get to see now, we get Cab see another one, but Schultz gets another one onto the Ash. This is not what we wanted to see, but luckily the IQ sneaks up and gets the lovely pick. Sorry, the Grim, not the IQ.
Yeah, and that's going to be at least an equalizer there. But look at this. Gutter still on the flank. In going to be coming in now on the Cav. Do they have any idea? No, they do not. Greco's going to be going down. A pop out on towards the second. MX brought down low, but bullets run out, and eventually Deimos does survive, come out on top. Grenade thrown in, but it matters not. Fiza swings out with the SMG, and Bodolf close it out, and it's going to be another really, really strong round for Turks as they take a 5-1 half.
Gotta say, these guys are playing much, not more differently than I was expecting, but less aggressive. They're letting them fall into their lap. It's not about how they're playing, it's about how they're thinking. They're using their audio, they're using their brains. This is a brains versus brawns game, and it's showing the experience of a tier, as I'd say, a tier 1 team or tier 2 team versus the rank stack, as I can see it. But Gunners, I'm not going to call them out yet. I do believe they can do a lot more now. This is not going to be a 7-1. Maybe a 7-3, 7-5, maybe a 7-7. We go straight to 13, 15 rounds. But I'm hoping to see a little bit more from them. They can show it. They've been proving they can get to that one-on-one fight.
Yeah, Gunners, there's parts of their lineup that's really impressed me so far. The trade game that they brought out through that half, for the most part, it was really consistent. They were trading kills where they needed to. When they had an opportunity to get a kill and take a gunfight, not only did they take it with confidence, they were winning gunfights that were direct quite a lot of the time. Where it lacked was exactly what you said, Drago. That sort of that thinking game, the strategy behind the shooting. You know, Siege is as much a strategy game as it is a shooter game. And for me, it just seems like Turks are on a slightly different level with that strategy right now. Playing it out as a bit of a trap, luring them all in. Of course, this time though, Gunners, they are going to be the defenders. They can be as aggressive or forego as much map to the attack as they so choose. And it could be an opportunity for a comeback to be mounted here. We know the defense on Sky is incredibly strong. So there's definitely an opportunity to be had here, but the opportunity spotting across the board, I think for Gunners, if they can level that up, they can certainly try and tie this game back out.
I've got to say, though, now that we know how these guys play, I'm a wee bit worried about that Legion. If it's either going to catch somebody, it's high risk, high reward. It's hiding under Geisha, but do they know? It looks like there's a drone watching him, so probably just under that jump out window. But with two teammates downstairs, they've now cleared the bottom floor. Ooh, Schultz is already getting into another gunfight with sense, and so is... Oh, Flores is down to 2 HP trying his best. There we go. It was, turns out they're fighting smoke on the window rappel. Was not enough for them.
No. Turks looking to get aggressive, going to be punished off for it, and it now puts them in a bit of a disadvantageous position. This is exactly what I sort of said. Gunners, if you give them these gunfights, they're going to take these gunfights, and they are going to win them out here and there, because they are a side that can certainly shoot back, and you can already see Turks, they know there's a player here towards the Livery side. They know he's lurking about. Greco, of course, going to be the man, the myth, to try and sort this one out here. And yet again, the players of Turks taking a lot of damage, and it's going to get worse for them, as Bodolf's going to be the one to drop down here. Yet again, the roam game from the defense, coming in strong, coming in clutch. Gunner does take down one, but yet again, for Gunners, the trade game is there. It's keeping them in it. It's keeping their advantage there, because right now, Turks reduced just down to 2.
We're lucky we get to see the Grim. This is what you meant before of how Grim can help a team be aggressive. Looking at this, they've got 45 seconds. They can't go joining everything, but at least they can use their gadgets to hopefully make life a bit more easy for them. But he did not check where the Legion was. Sorry. Where the... It wasn't Legion, it was Strike. That's not Striker. Who's on defense for the recruit? Sentry, you're right. But it does not matter. Legion gets the fight until Gwerman gets the pick. I've got to say, looking at these guys, they can do better. And they've shown that to us.
A round like that from Gunners, if they can find consistency like that, they can bring this game back. You know, they can certainly do it. It's only 3 rounds, which might sound like a lot, but on the defense of a Skyscraper, it's not unheard of to see these massive rounds where you come out of the first half and you go, oh, it's over, it's a 5-1 half, and then all of a sudden the defense starts to bring things back into it. It's a thing we see time and time again. We do see it fairly often. And Turks right now, well, they're in a bit of a difficult spot, and I don't think they're going to slow down. They wanted to get aggressive in that round. It got punished, But looking at the lineup for this round here, an Amaru, Aurora, an Ascent, they want to go fast. They want to play this execute, get control of the objective, and perhaps do something that I said Gunners themselves should do in the previous half. Just take site directly with so much emphasis on the extension. Site itself left unguarded. If you can just get in there, get those Aurora panels up so the rotations can't be made across, it should be an easy plant, and then they can play the post for Turks.
I think you're right. I think they're planning on slowing this down, but also speeding it up. Looking at Turks, I'm thinking they're going to either go for the plant or go for the aggression, because they've given it to the... Can't believe it. She's just going to have to go straight through the window with the diffuser and hopefully go for a plant. But then you've got the Aurora, who's going to block off as much as they can. Not sure how this is going to go out for them, because now that they've got the tuber out, I'm thinking that he's going to be the biggest obstacle. Oh no, she's going to go through the hatch?
Yeah.
How many people are on site again?
At the minute, you've actually got, for an early round here without much roam clear, you've got quite a few. And obviously, the longer you leave it for Turks, the more the idea that the defense are going to get that hold on them. And something's not quite right here. They're going to call the members of the team back as they're doing right now, because they're realizing this is really quiet. They should have been attacking out other side of the map by now, and they've not been. And look at this. Ryko down below, causing chaos here, slowing down the attack. They can't rush in while that Valkyrie's alive. Fiza does eventually get the shutdown on it, but it's a minute wasted already. And what I think for Turks was wanting to be a bit of a rush attempt. It's not going to be quite that. They've still got time, though, to try and retaliate, but with the utility focused so heavily on that rush, they might struggle with other parts of this clear.
I completely agree. And looking at it, as he's down below site, there's two really interesting plays they can do. They're planning to now close up as much as they can and go for the plant. They're not going to hear it because they're going to think it's going to be the wall breach. But the Mirror has to either push in and get the kill on the planter, or he's going to have to see it stop. But he got it the last millisecond. And the two-brow slowing as well.
It's absolutely huge there for the attack. Not quite able to stick the plant, however, but I like the idea there. You can see where they're trying to put the Aurora to use here. Of course, trying to deny those doorways. But that two-brow, you said it, Draco, could be a real problem maker for this round. And because when he throws one of those Zodo canisters at those panels, they get immediately opened back up, effectively nullified, and it's an open doorway. And you can see the players that remain for Turks right now, well, they're struggling how they want to get into this one, because defense, it's only a 2 versus 3. It's still a winnable position. It's still something that they can capitalize on, and with only 50 seconds to go, they can just hide behind the mirror windows, use that C4 they've got, and just bide that clock down towards 0.
They don't have easy access to the site as well. They have to think this out, because it's either they go for the kill on the Tuberau, or they go for the kill on the Phantom. The Repellent's going to end up not working well for them. It becomes a 2v2 situation. You can start us off if you wish.
Yeah, and that's it, and it's just going to go from bad to worse here for Turks. They kind of stall out in the mid-round there, and now it's all on to Fiza to close it up. All down to the Soul Nomad here. C4's going to be thrown, not going to be able to hit it in the air, and Robbie is going to take Gunners through to a second defensive round victory there. And for me, that is just another sign that Gunners, they can definitely warm through into this one. They have that situation in there where they're now slowly warming up. They're tying the game, not quite yet, but they're 2 rounds away from doing it, 2 rounds in a row on their defense as well. And right now we sit here and we go, we're looking at this and it's starting to feel like there might be a possibility of a comeback here for the side of the Gunners, because Turks, they got that. They got the panic, and the issue is there, and I really feel the big issue for them on that side was, of course, on Gunners. They had that rush attempt, they felt the rush, but they kept their composure, which really surprised me, if I'm being honest. They held their nerve, and it really shook Turks because they had no idea what to do after that.
I completely agree. Looking at how the teams have been playing this out, I'm a wee bit worried. There's 2 ways this can come out for us. They've either got to play it with big brains for this last round, or they're going to have to just fight it out in the last 2 seconds. I'm hoping this works out well for them in the right place. But as far as I know, it's a beautiful team. Turks have got this in the bag. What do you think?
Well, this is the next big deal for me. I think now we're going to be heading towards the tertiary bomb site. Gunners have won their 2 primary and secondary objectives. Now we head towards the tertiary. This is where, as an attacker, you should be looking to get that round. And because of how strong the first half was for Turks, if they can get the tertiary here, then again, when it comes up in round number 12, they should be smooth sailing. If they lose the tertiary here, I think then for Gunners, it's 5-4. The comeback's very much nearly on. And all of a sudden, it's a very, very different kind of round we're looking at. And I think this round, regardless of how it plays out, it's going to be a very pivotal one in the outcome of this game.
I can completely understand that. Knowing how this goes, it's going to be your last fight to watch. It's going to be really entertaining, really ready. I believe we're just having a small tech issue. Just give us 2 quick seconds.
Yeah, unfortunately, just having a brief little tech pause, but it gives us an opportunity to sit here and have a discuss of, what's been going on in the game, and as well, just a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a pause, and, it's an opportunity here because, of course, I think for Turks, it will be almost welcome for them, right? Because they've lost 2 rounds in a row now. We're starting to not feel a bit of momentum shifting the way of Gunners, and, I'm starting to feel like there's a possibility they could make the comeback on.
What I can see with these teams, I'm wondering how they're going to play this out. Oh, we've just found out what the problem was. It was a small FPS bug. It'll be fixed in a second. But we're going to hopefully get straight back into it quickly. Sorry for interrupting. Back to the game. There we go. Love to see it.
Just like that. We go straight back into Skyscraper. Back exactly where we left it off. Round number 9. Gunners, 2 great rounds in a row from them. They need to make it 3. And you said, this is the pivotal one, I feel here. This is the one that decides whether the comeback is on or whether Turks LFO are going to be able to get the close out here on Skyscraper. Both of these sides really need this next round here. For Turks, it'd be a statement and a 1 step closer towards a victory in regulation here. For Gunners, a 5-4 scoreline, a fully successful site rotation, and that's a sign that they might be on to what could be described only as a good comeback. We'll have to wait and see how this one's going to unfold. And Drago, what are you thinking about his defensive lineup?
I like the defensive lineup this time. Having Boltmont just on Two-Brow has been really impactful for them, so it looks like he's keeping that as a comfort pick. But bringing out the Fenrir to be overpowered, along with Warden Spawn Peak. Oh no, that's a Fenrir Spawn Peak. Even more terrifying, no recoil MP7. So I'm just hoping that this works out well for them instead of being a detriment. But it's still a really far away roam again. It's a bit shallow because most people are just upstairs. But it's only one on site again. They follow the same habit as the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does love to play Sky that way. And that's it. Everyone knows to play Sky that way. You can see Turks in the previous round, they wanted to play into that direct site take, but it got shut down on its face. So I don't think we're going to be seeing it from them anytime soon, just because of how badly it went the previous time. They need to get the clear out. They need to get the man advantage at least first before they can push the objective. And as well, on a site like Bar and Kitchen, the vertical is ever so present. There's a quick hop back down here from towards the open restaurant area. So there's a lot of viability for teams to quickly get back onto the objective. So I do think having to clear out that roam is going to be a key part here for Turks. And they've got the lineup to do it. The question is, are they going to be able to do it in due time?
With only a minute 30 left, I do believe they can do it. But this is where the defenders are going to hopefully start collapsing back in. Nukebi's already upstairs. Deimos is just walking straight into a door. He's just waiting, listening for the person from above.
Yeah.
He doesn't know. He's just going to have to go in. But Nukebi luckily gets the kill on the Two-Brow. That's a big piece off the board.
And Shoxall with another over towards Greco as well. That's a 3 versus 5 now. And this is what we wanted to see from Turks here. They're collapsing in, and all 3 players that remain on the side of Gunners, all 3 remain on this top floor. Cade going to be swinging out on towards drums there, but they've got the intel. Turks should be able to convert out here, find the elimination. Coward not even looking in the right direction right now, has no idea where these attackers could be. It should be an easy collapse here for Turks right now. They've got 50 seconds left to play with. All players of the defense cornered up on this top floor. They can try and use the vertical, but as soon as they give their positions away, the attackers that are knocking on this top floor, they're going to come in on in swinging, trying to find the elimination. Plant attempt now, going to be made from Salim, using the table as cover. Bodolf with another onto MX, and the defense now left with a tricky retake.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
Gotta say, that was a beautiful shot through him through the floor. Now we've got a 2v5 situation. Post plant, Warden upstairs just dropping down, hopefully going to try and get off anyone who's in sight, but he doesn't know that he's hiding under the desk space. Oh, the Kaid getting the knife as well on Twitch. Just the run and no fear, no worries.
That is a sign of, well, that is just brutal. Straight up, no way of better saying that, really. Turks, absolute brutal there. Just running with the knife, take the player out there. It shows the confidence from them, right? And not letting the last 2 rounds get to their head there, and how dominantly they won that tertiary bomb site. Unless something changes for Gunners yet again on it, Turks should be able to take this game if we rotate back there. Of course, for Gunners, they can go back to their primary bomb site, T Karaoke, objective that is favoured by the defense across all sides, across all teams, all across the world of Siege. Everyone loves this site. It's a really strong fortress for the defense, and for Turks, well, attacking it is going to be proven difficult. It's proven difficult once already, and for the defense, they're not going to be changing too much on their lineup, sticking with what they know, sticking with what worked, and why fix it if it ain't broken?
I completely agree. Now, we're still seeing the rank setup, but I'm hoping to see a bit more activity to it, with the Fenrir holding, as he wants to, holding offices.
10 seconds remaining.
So they're not going to just let site be taken, but they're not going to hold 2 for off site now. I'm hoping to see that 3 of them stay on site, 2 or 1 below, and then 2 is across. And I'm wrong immediately. Legion, Bandit, and Fenrir are off site. So if Lion just wants to walk in, he's more than welcome to go straight through bathroom window and go straight up the staircase. Which I think that might end up being the play. Only Sentry on site.
Yeah, only 1 to go, and look at that. I think Turks, they're just going to go fast with this one. Fiza already has black stairs almost all the way there. Gutter as well, supporting there from outside on the balcony. Should be a fairly easy walk in here from the side of Turks, of course. Gunners, they're starting to get the idea. They are starting to relocate players back, but as you're running, you're a little bit exposed. You're a little bit got your guard down. Turks can certainly take the opportunity up there, as they're just going to slow down for a moment, get the drone work coming on through, assess where these retakes and these repositions are coming in from, and then try and pounce and get themselves the kills. But already we're a minute in, and look at the progress they've made. They're knocking on the door of the objective, and they've barely had to use any utilities to get it done. Players going to be swinging out. They are going to be able to find 1, make it 2 as well. Gunners, they're in it. They're fighting for it. Turks do get 1 back, but it's still a 3 versus 4.
A lot of early lovely picks though, and Cohen finally getting put on the board to get a 2nd kill. But is he going to get spotted out? Yes, he is, with a 1 tap on the ace, but he gets to instantly get refragged by the Fenrir, who didn't know he was there. Now it's a 1v3 situation, repelled on the windows. He's got to jump in and hopefully he can fight through the sentry, but no, he's going to get shot by the Fenrir from the long side.
That really should have been around for Turks there. They had so many good, they had players in great positions early on, and I think for me it really irks to that little bit of confidence play, right? They were playing confident. They weren't checking positions like Drum, where there should be players still out there, and Shrine. They were just turning their backs to players. You saw that he got the really nice 1 tap onto one of the players, and then immediately turned his back to where the rest of the defense was coming in from there. So I think getting a little bit overconfident in that round there, and it really ended up costing them, because Gunners, they're happy to take the gunfights, as we said time and time again. They love the gunfights, they're happy to take them, and they will win them exactly what they did there, and it handed them around that at a point really shouldn't have been theirs, and credit to them to bring it all the way back, because they're going to keep on fighting for at least 1 more round.
I think that was more of a case of siege timing not coming into effect because of the fact they droned out everything, that all the players in set, but they hesitated at the last second. If they chose not to hesitate, they probably could have walked straight into the other side, made a more safe place to plant, because they had the Nomad on windows, they had the Nomads on the doors. Would have been perfect for a restake, make sure that there's no plant available. But they waited too long. So I'm hoping this one they should hopefully know a bit better. But the tuber outside tells me no. They're still planning to fight this, as their name states. Gunners, they're just gonna gun.
And they're going to be a bit expectant because look at the lineup of Turks Elephant. Sense, Prowl. They're doing exactly what they did before in this objective. They're just going to get the breach open, try and walk on into the objective, get a defuse out. It didn't work for them last time, so they are going to be swapping the Amaru off on towards the Dokebi. At least something a little bit more traditional, a little bit more, perhaps they're going to wait a little bit before the running really comes on through. But first and foremost, they've got to get this wall open, and you see MX looking to get aggressive here on the run out, looking to try and find it. Drone spotted out. But look at that, there's a player from Turks watching the long angle. Gutter wants this one, and MX knows running out here could be death, and rightfully so, just retreats away.
That's that siege time for you. If you'd waited a couple more seconds, either him or Nomad could have been taken off the board. But instead, they're playing it slow. They're setting up for the long combo. Seeing as this is going, how do you think this is going to end? Because I have a bad feeling that they're going to go the whole way to the other side of the site, push in, clear Dragon, and just not worry about it anymore.
I think if Gunners can play the clock here, they've got a really good chance of taking this round as well here. Turk's going to be throwing on the ROU projectors, looking to try and eye up a plant, but they've not got the map control nor the players in the correct position to really make anything happen of it yet. Of course, the benefit of the Sense, obviously, when they were changed last, was that ability to down the projectors and then bring them up when you need to. So they can preemptively set up for this execute, but they don't have to commit to anything just yet. Slim looking to close off there towards the little wall. Doorway, sorry, going to get that shut off. And it's a good position right now for Turks, but they need something to change to really bring it into their factor before they can make this push.
I'm surprised that Castle's not blinded. That landed perfectly sweet. Ah, there we go. And it finally gets him as he's able to get across into Geisha. Buck's able to just walk straight now into Drum, hopefully getting a pick onto one of the two people in here. The Bandit, nope. Bandit gets the frag onto Buck. That's now a 45 situation with the advantage going to Gunners.
And that's critical there because there's no one for Turks. So much emphasis being placed on the objective. No one there to make the trade game, and it's going to cost them. However, Bodolf is in the objective. No one seems to know, but yet again, Bolton has the trade back. Shoxel takes down Grieco, keeping it somewhat close. 2 versus 3 now for Turks LFO as they try to hold on here, try and close this one out in regulation. But look at the players that remain in the positions they're in. They're locked out of this objective right now. The players of Gunners, they have the idea where they're coming from. They know where these attackers are going to be walking on in from, and it's going to make it really difficult to push. Aggressive play from MX, eventually going to be punished and shut out there. Shoxel looking to push on in towards the objective, but with the clock against them, Turks, they have to get moving. They're going to get the player. They're going to try and get this diffuser down. It has to be a perfect post-plant recovery here from Bolton, but it's not going to be, and it will be the Turks to take it out the line in regulation. A 7-4 victory here on Skyscraper for them, and one that they will certainly be quite happy about.
That did show us the Gunners have a lot of room to grow. But Turks as well, they're not as polished as they'd like to be. So this is the difference, as I would say, that I'm just not sure how they're going to plan this out. Thinking about it, I'm thinking Turks is going to go back, look at the drawing board, look at their plans, make sure that they're going over the basics a bit more. Gunners needs to learn their mechanics a bit more, and maybe invest in a bit more of team communication and headsets. Because I have a feeling that certain times, brain switched off, they didn't trust their instincts, and they didn't have the cameras, the drones, whatever, and they're just like, well, this is life now.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation of it. Of course, Gunners, they can gun. It's in the name. They are a great team of Gunners, but it really is in that teamwork game. The larger strategy of it, I think, is where they fell a little bit short here today. And as you said, Turks, I don't think they'll be disheartened. They won't be unhappy with this victory, but I don't think they're going to be happy with it either. There was room for improvement there. I feel they should have closed that one out maybe a round or two earlier on than they did. And I think, of course, a lot of that went down to, I think, a bit of overconfidence from them at certain points, feeling that perhaps their boots were bigger than they were. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, they got the job done, still in regulation, so they get all the points available for it. And yeah, so should be a great game for them, of course. And then we can eye up our third game of the evening.
I'm looking forward to this. Anything you want to say? Because I've got a couple words I want to say to them.
Or I'll let you take the floor for this one.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've just seen Turks versus Gunners, and now we're hopefully going to see either Year of the Snake or we're going to see the Divolo match. I think it's going to be Divolo. And I'm really excited for two specific people. Hughes, he impressed me during the playoffs when I got to watch his lovely game. But then also NXT. our producer is part of their team as a manager. So that means I get to call him out on anything that poorly happens by his team. So anyone in the chat right now, feel free to type away who you think is going to win. And if it doesn't work well, I'm going to directly tell Rowan that I will coach his team and then it'll come from afterwards. So anything you want to say? This is a bit of banter before we go into the last minute break.
I'm going to throw it to a break before we get ourselves in any more trouble. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks, with game number 3 of today, Diavoli versus Next, coming your way in a few.
Back it up, back it up. You need to get back to the realness, feel this. We take it back to the realness, feel this. We take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back it up, back it up.
You need to get back to the realness, feel this. We take it back to the realness, feel this. We take it back to the realness, feel this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up.
it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, build this. Let me take it back to the realness, build it. Let me take it back to the realness, build this.
Back it up, back it up.
Let me take it back to the realness, build this. Let me take it back to the realness, build it. Let me take it back to the realness, build this.
Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
Welcome to the XXL Nutrition HQ. XXL Nutrition is the most popular online supplement brand in Europe. Our proteins, pre-workouts, dietary supplements, and of course our sportswear is developed with the greatest possible care. We are known for providing the highest quality products and the best service. Daily, we are working with a motivated team on new developments, promotions, and quality control to serve our customers in the best possible way. XXL Nutrition is an established name in the B2B and B2C market. Therefore, we can also be found in many gyms, supplement stores, and supermarkets. Offering the highest possible quality is the foundation of our brand. Only the best ingredients and materials are used for our products. Everyone at our company has passion for health and fitness. That's why we want to provide our customers, and of course ourselves, with the best products. We prepare all orders in our own warehouse, which has the capacity to process more than 10,000 orders daily. Thank you for supporting XXL Nutrition. We are XXL, the most popular brand in sports nutrition.
And here, live at the MGM Music Hall in Boston, Massachusetts, we make some more. Welcome to the Rainbow Six Invitational 2025.
Boston, are you ready to make history? Game number one begins now!
It is Haas Company Academy! It's a one-team!
We can't quite see it, the punt. Oh, it's down, a beautiful
Cyber isn't going to let him just sit on this.
Oh, brilliantly played! It seems like Fury are not just outnumbered, but they've lost a couple. And Philippe Foxy, the BDS steal that round for Furia. It's working, a triple for Dream. It's all up to Nate and Philippe Fox now. Numbers in a disadvantage for them. And Nate is on the floor.
Pressurization complete.
First map looks to be locked up to be there. Putting out the 1v1. Unbelievable stuff from the Brazilian. It's all up to base. He's been here before. He's got to step across. It's all about this 1v1. He wins it out. Rene's going for the plant. Cyber's got three. We're down towards this last 30 seconds. King is manoeuvring here. Shot in the back again. Shaiko is going up to him. Finally finds himself down now. Users has got to clutch up big. Andy, let's see if the swing. They're waiting. Solitov's down. Rene's off. He's also down.
Welcome everyone, Star Dragger here again with his buddy boy Travi. You want to give a quick introduction again for anyone who's just joined?
Yeah. Welcome on in, folks. Of course, Travi, as Drago has just discussed, and we are here for our third and what is now going to be our final game of tonight. Of course, final best of one here coming on and up. Just to update you all, of course, on that, there was meant to be one more game played after this one, Year of the Snake versus Wild. Unfortunately, Year of the Snake had to forfeit that one due to not being able to field enough players to play it. So, in that regard, that one will be handed over to Wild, and we will not be seeing that game played out tonight. So that means our third and final game is going to be here and now. Diavoli versus Next. And Draco, what are you feeling about it?
Oh, Diavoli. I've got to say, it is a beautiful team I've watched play 4 times now, I believe. And every time, it's always interesting because it's either Devils, just the demonic team ripping the enemy to pieces, or it's the sheep and it's the wolf in sheep's clothing. It is always, oh, we're not winning, they're not going well. And then suddenly they just clap back, and it's always entertaining. NXT I've not watched yet, but as I said, Rowan, our producer, is one of their guys. So I interrogated him a little bit, threatened him, you could say. But what I heard was, I won't be getting paid, and we'll hopefully be going to see the pick and pans in a second. Anything you want to say?
Oh, I'm curious to see where this one's going to be. Oh, Cafe. Okay. Cafe Dostoevsky to be ending this one up. And I like this and the appreciation post for all the teams here, keeping that so we're not playing the same 3 maps on repeat tonight. We're going to be going to see it. Our third map's going to be bringing us yet another new battleground. Cafe Dostoevsky. I love this map. It's one of my favorites to watch. It is brought up quite a lot, but I think the vertical top-down nature of it always makes for an exciting one. And based on what I've seen of Diavoli before, as you said, they're a team that are very much, they keep things interesting. And every time they play, you never really know what to expect. And I think we're going to be ending tonight with a bit of a bang.
I couldn't say it better myself. But knowing these 2 teams, it's going to be a good fight. So let's go over the team stats. Let's see who we've got first. We've got, as I said, Devil, Choose, Maro, and I cannot pronounce the last one. I'll leave it to you to say in a second. Then we've got Penguin, Sograni, Sograna, Oxide, Ben, and Kixie. Oh,
Kixie.
That's so close. That's so close to something else, and my heart breaks a little bit. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Kickstar. I miss him
Rest
so
in
much.
peace, the GOAT, the legend. And yeah, looking at these players, of course, a Devil I recognise as a player, I believe played on ITBA or XITBA for a very, very short period of time back, maybe 6-7 months ago. Player that I know is phenomenal stuff. And all of these other players as well, I've seen them throughout the CS qualifiers. They have a phenomenal side of what it takes, and I'm really expecting to see some great stuff from them. So before we dive into it, let's take a look at some statistics here to see exactly how these teams, of course, it's only the play day 1 statistics, so we've only got 1 game to be going off of here, but Diavoli certainly had a great game number 1 here, looking at the stats.
That shows just how impressive and oppressive they were in that match. Looking at the KDs for the whole team, only 2 sub-negative, but every one of them chose to rise to the occasion when they came. They know how to play this. Me knowing from Devils, just his average rating 1.21. Fair, completely understandable. He tries to be a showmaker. He tries to be a clutch master, and then Choose. He doesn't need to action until it's the time to do it. As you can see, opening kill, perfect. Opening deaths, he does get unlucky with siege timing, but I cannot complain with how he plays. He's fantastic. So
and looking at the other side here next, they're no slouches either. Everyone got a positive rating. Almost everyone got a positive KD. I mean, look at that. Penguin up there, 1.63. Oxide, 1.67 KD as well. And for me, what really sticks out to me is you look towards the 3 on the left of the screen there, Penguin, Sagrana, and Oxide. 3 players, 6 and 2 on them on the opening on their own as well. Of course, it does go to 6-6 even out if you add in Kixie and Ben to the equation. There's 2 supportive players here. But of course, the entries, they're playing aggressive, they're playing fast. And for the most part, for the entries, it's working out for them.
Gotta say, looking at these guys might be a better team on paper, but we'll see who's the better team in the game. So let's head over. Let's find out how it's going to go.
Yeah, this is the game I think I have been waiting for all night. Looking at the lineups tonight, I don't want to put any of the other teams down, but this is the one that I was looking forward to. This is the game that I was quite excited to see, because on paper, it's going to be a close one. On paper, It's going to be a really exciting one. And well, there's only one way we're going to find that out, and that's to get our teeth stuck into Cafe. But of course, as is always, we have some operator bans to be taken off the board first here. Of course, Diavoli, they're going to be getting rid of an attacker of their choice. And that is going to, of course, going to be the Blackbeard, the ever oppressive, the ever annoying, the one that you see and you go, oh, this guy again, seriously? He's not going to be in this one.
DJX has to get him removed from the game or reworked again. The most reworked operator has to be him. Not even the Lord Tachanka has been this bad. But we just got to wait and see. We've got Ying getting taken off the board, which is quite impressive because that's a very good entry to have, whether it's just to drop in and go for the plant upstairs. Who are you looking for on NZXT's defense?
I'm looking for, on Cafe, I'm looking for an Azami, I'm looking for a Valkyrie. Two operators that, for me, are phenomenal here to be held on Cafe. So much ground can be held, especially towards that top floor on the Azami. And with how much presence goes towards that extended hold, retreating is a big part of the defensive gameplay. Using these keeper barricades proactively to cover your retreat, cut off swings, cut off angles as you're making that runaway. Phenomenal operator to be used. And a final defender, well, how about that 2 for 2? A Valkyrie going to be taken off the board. Yet another one. There's some long sight lines, especially out towards that sort of bar area up top. Phenomenal operator. Not a surprise to see her being taken off the board.
Just checking out, you haven't planned this all from the start, right? This isn't your big brain play where you've got this whole match scripted in front of you?
Yeah, you see, I haven't been trash talking our producer, so he's given me the script, so I've got it all in front of me. I know exactly how this is going to go.
Oh, I can see some really nice backgrounds as well. Some of them I have, some of them I don't.
Defenders,
So,
protect your
looking at the
bombs.
team
Defused by
compositions this
attackers.
time, we've got Ben on Deimos, Dokebi, Twitch, Habana, and Ace. So, I think they're planning just to take that red wall. But I don't think the defense is going to let them with the Castle, the Goyo, the Aruni, and the Mira. So I think they're just planning on keeping everyone out, fighting it off if they have to, but just wasting as much time as they can with the Goyo canister.
Yeah, and that's it. It's line up from Diavoli. It's going to be incredibly well-rounded here. A very much a good lineup here. It's incredibly set through, well-rounded. But I think before we can actually get our teeth stuck in towards this one, it is going to be a little bit of a rehost. There's a couple players on the Diavoli side. They're struggling with the pings. So we're going to go to a little break. And what we're going to do, we'll be back with this game in just a couple of minutes when it's all ready to start for you.
We're going to have to give us a couple seconds. We'll probably come back to our lovely faces in a sec. But be prepared. That wasn't the end of the game. We know how they play. We see it. So we got to see a little bit of how their composition, how their idea was working. 250 ping doesn't work here. So
Not
no
ideal.
ping abusing, nothing like that. So we're hoping this is for just a small hiccup on the EU servers. But what do you say?
Wouldn't be a night or and wouldn't be a play day without some tech issues, would it? There's always going to be some tech pause. We've been, I'll touch wood and say we've been fairly blessed so far tonight. We've only had the one sort of temporary little pause, and of course we did have the game forfeiture, of course. But in terms of the games we've actually seen on paper today, it's all actually been fairly smooth sailing. So unfortunate to hit this point. I mean, we look to of course some operator bans as well. Obviously, we did get to see all of those roll on through. Obviously, the Blackbeard, the Ying, the Azami, and the Valkyrie. Fairly decent operators, fairly standard operators as well for a Cafe as well.
I completely agree. Knowing how these guys work, gotta say, Sami's normally integral for me holding that Christmas area. How important is she for you?
For me, she's a game-changing operator because she can really make that that little bit of the map a really hard area to take, and she can make it into a little bit of a maze. She can really sort of shape it around, not to mention the impact grenades and the loadout she brings as a whole. She's a great operator. She's phenomenal line, and yet again, I'm sad to see her go because she always has big plays when she's brought right, but I also understand the ban, and I got to ask you, Drago, what about like the Blackbeard bans? We're looking at our attack, Ying and the Blackbeard, two really aggressive operators, both taken off the board. How's that going to change up the attacking pace a little bit?
Ooh, having both of them removed from the Blackbeard's not as integral. He's been reworked so many times, he's not picked by everyone. But it does mean that certain plays, like aggressive stuff, like just rushing at white, isn't an option. So hopefully seeing the fact that the Ying has been gone as well that lets them think, all right, we're going to bring Sense instead of Ying. We're going to bring Sledge. We're going to bring a couple more operatives who we don't see as much, just on the attack. But looking at it, I think these guys have their 5 set. They've got the Deimos, they have the Twitch, they've got the Hibana. They're just going to bring it, and that's how it's going to have to go.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to have to be. And I suppose as well, obviously, we get a little teaser. We'll be going back up towards that top floor with the same operator lineup here. So I'm going to be really, really sneaky. And I'm actually going to pause. We can obviously have a look through here, of course, as you know, that mirror. As Rooney, as you highlighted, defense going to be really highlighting this into what's going to be a very strong lineup for them. Of course, going to be a very fortification heavy lineup. I think that's the thing. They're going to play very site centric, very anchor centric, because there's not a lot of wiggle room on that top floor. So you have to make sure that every square inch you're fighting for it.
I completely agree. Just because of how they've decided to do this, I'm thinking that top upstairs hold will now become a top upstairs arena. They're going to either expect them to drop the hatch or go to new balcony, maybe a pre-play C4 or something, because the Valkyrie's gone, so it's all going to be played by eyes and ears. Bulletproof cams are your best friends on a Rooney. I believe Goyo has one, but I might be wrong. And then the mute is to dram all drones.
Yeah, and that's it. Intel denial, Intel gain is going to be, of course, the name of the game. The attack, obviously, they do have the ability to use the 6th pick, so we can't guarantee they'll stick on through for this, but they did bring a Deimos last time, so they will be trying to gain some intel of their own, bringing some operators to perhaps support that game. Of course, that's going to be the key essential. That's going to be the essential part of it for this one. So we'll just have to obviously wait and go and see through how exactly things pan out here, of course, because I'm looking at this and I'm still thinking it's going to be a close game of Cafe. I think regardless, as the bands sort of have gone through now, but we're still going to be up to a treat with a close one.
All right, then I do believe we're going to have a tech pause for a couple seconds, a quick break. So give us a few seconds. We'll get back right to you. Anything you want to say before we head out?
Don't go anywhere because it's going to be a great game.
back. The tech issue seems to be fixed. We're going to redo all of the bands again. Let's go over it a bit more because we know what's coming. So, Robbie, give me a little bit of a breakdown what you're thinking here.
Well, of course, Shield band, aggressive as always. Blackbeard and the Ying band's going to be coming on through. Sorry, for those of you just joining us, I'm sorry, I've just spoiled the next band for you. It's going to be a Ying. And of course, it is going to be of these operators that are really, really aggressive. Great for taking ground. Great for Cafe Dostoyevsky, especially when you start to look at those executes. Top floor especially, I think, is a really strong area for these two operators. And, well, unfortunately for them, they're not going to be seen. And, well, over on the defense, we're going to be seen in Nazami band. We're going to be seen in Valkyrie band. We did talk a little bit about them, but, Drag, I want to ask you, what do you think that's going to have an impact on this game?
I got to say, no Asami as integral to that as mine would be. That's not how the balance is supposed to go, but fine. But as integral that is, I see that. I'm not looking forward to that. I'm terrified of that. No operator. Not worth it.
No.
Not good. Seeing that Asami's gone, seeing that Valk has gone, means so much intel off the board, so much gunfighting potential off the board. And the attackers are just going to have to use it to their advantage or use enough utility to just bully the defenders.
And that's it. It's going to be a tough one for this attack. It's going to be really, really difficult to see how they're going to have to go on through with it. Of course, top floor defense is going to be chosen on towards. However, we're going to be going all the way upstairs to see how things are going to be faring up yet again over this time around. So we'll have to wait and see, of course. Top floor defense coming on through, see how it goes.
Same setup, same operators. A couple issues this time I've noticed because, as the players have said, they're having ping issues. I don't think that's going to be on the servers. I think that's just Ubisoft not wanting to work today. It's fine. Just going to have good luck, have a bit of fun. They're now in EU Central, not EU West. So, as I should have mentioned at the start, Diavolo is actually a Russian-based team. So, I believe that their servers are actually supposed to be EU Central, but they didn't get to decide that before the match and only just told the observer after. That's why we had to go through the rehost. But now that we get to see this team setting up, I'm thinking they're going to set up a bit differently. They're going to play for the aggression. They're going to get ready. Cigar's already cut off by a barricade. This Miro's just going to chill in Cigar and not worry about it.
Yeah, just going to chill out, relax. I mean, you know, we're early days yet. The attack, especially on the Cafe, they've got quite a little bit to do. Quite a little bit ahead of them here. They've got to get these hatches open, which should be easy enough to do. So one of the DMRs from the side of Salvarana or Oxide will be able to get that one open up nice and easy peasy. No problems at all for the attacking team. Of course, the question then lies, how do they go from there? Once those windows are open, once those hatches are available to you, then what is the game plan? That is the question, of course, going to be asked of them as well. First of all, they're going to need to get red nice and cleared. Need to move all of these defenders away from it.
Ooh, Lang gets a nice line of sight onto Mira, but does not be able to get the pick on her. So that wall is going to get breached in red. Ace is probably going to be able to get the charge or Habana, but the Mira's still trying to pick the Lion. That 417 is such a destructive DMR. I've got to ask, do you use it or do you use the F2 on Twitch?
I'm a DMR person. Love the DMR. I love it, but what I don't love is Diavoli getting picked apart there. RWL goes for the run out, gets Penguin, but gets dropped in the process of leaving the side of Diavoli. 2 versus 4. Next, also a great start in this one. They've lost a hard breach, sure, but on man advantage alone, they should be able to convert this one all the way through as that 2 versus 4. We're locked in now. Jews and Marats, all that remain for the side of Diavoli.
Ooh, I've got to say, he's got that perfect bullet hole, but he's not paying attention to the Ash that's trying to peek him from Cigar. It's now 2v3 with somebody down, so it can go back to a 4. I just don't think they're going to let it happen. Aruni's just going to try and get up close and try and swing everything she can, but she cannot get the shot on the 417. Ooh, Kevin with a DMR just trying to swing as well. But go ahead, you can start us.
Yeah, it's a 1 versus 2. It is possibly winnable here for Marats. You just need to try and isolate this, but Now your position's been droned out. Next, they have to breathe in space to go and revive Ben. And that's going to be the issue for them. It's now a 1 versus 3. A much more difficult one here. Sprays using the mirror window. They are able to take down Sagrana here. Making it a 1 versus 2. See the Ash, find the Ash. But no, can't quite find Oxy. Can't quite find the last. And next, it was a little bit closer than maybe it needed to be. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. And they have done it. They get the round and they get the first over the line.
Gotta say, that was a really interesting round. There's one thing that neither of us missed, though. Looking at how these guys are playing it, they're going to go back upstairs. This time they are bringing the castle instead of Legion. I think it was a quick insta-lock by accident. But now we get to see what the true strat was from the first round. And that is how you get rid of a grenade that was close to you as well, with the mirror shooting out the glass, so it dropped it.
Yeah, and as well, you know, bring that castle this time around and operate that. I think you can already see how he's cutting off this top floor, how he's restricting the entryways here for the attacking team, how he's restricting the different positions that can come through for them. So it's a really, really good spot to be in here, of course, with that castle, with that spot, able to find it all. And he's going to provide a lot of utility, and for Diavoli, they're hoping it's going to be the difference maker. That was almost a throw from them. Very much was almost a throw from the side of Next. Diavoli, they did good to keep it close, and then, of course, will be looking to bring it all the way over the line.
I completely agree, just looking at us. This is how they wanted to set up the first time. But having the Aruni downstairs on the bottom floor is making me a bit more hesitant and worried. Because I'm not sure if this is their idea of a long haul or a deep rotate. Just looking at it, I'm a wee bit worried. You not only have the Aruni... Oh, I see what she's planning to do. That's a dirty bone pick angle if somebody repels up there. But everyone's on this roof safe and sound. No one's going to get picked off. Ash has repelled from the windows, hopefully with Dokkaebi to try and get an easy pick.
Yeah, should be nice and easy here for Dex to get themselves started. You see the Ash already here making the work through on those castle barricades there. The difference being brought out by Diavoli, well, it's just going to be completely taken off the board. Quite early on here, of course. Only 50-odd seconds into this round now, but already the attack, they're starting to get themselves set up here. They're starting to send the utility all the way on through. Of course, Oxy needs to be careful here of the mute jammers. One wrong move and you will be jammed out on the drone. However, if you can play your positions right, you're going to be able to pop these mirror windows, and wouldn't that be a massive success here? There you go, drone trades out the mirror window. That's absolutely huge there for Next.
All the utility getting taken up by that Twitch drone is such a difficult pain. And now that they know where the mirror is, she's hiding in the middle of the objective. She's luckily got pulled away, but there's another Goyokan gone. I'm a wee bit worried now. A lot of utilities have just been used by the Twitch. It's all been destroyed. Castle's already off the board. So, how do you think this is going to go?
I think this is going to go fast for the attack here. Now, they're starting to gain a little bit of ground. They're starting to push up, knock on the door of the objective, but Aurod sends them right back out of it. Ben gets taken down. We're equalizer back out to 4 apiece here. Minute left to go on the clock here, and you can see this mirror is in a bit of a difficult spot, in a tricky position right now, because you can see there's attackers on both sides. There are players on the side of Diavoli there to support if needed too, but as the execute's coming in, the pressure's mounting on up. It's Next coming out on top here, double for Sagrana. They're going to hop on in. Kills being traded back and forth inside, but the only consistent thing being found is Next coming out on top. And yet again, they just shoot their way through the objective, and they get themselves a nice, comfortable round.
I gotta say, that was beautiful play. Again, this is how I was expecting today's matches to go. Strategy, big brain, everyone collapsing at the exact same time, not 1v1 gunfights every time. So having the fact that they really couldn't decide who to swing on, she just tried to wait, and then that was her life now. Goyo, Vigil, Lucy, Legion, and Echo. And a bit of a slow down for the defense, but having the Vigil there, no Boss G, disappointed, but all the same, Devil's hopefully going to make the impact that I expect from him in a second. But
Yeah,
what do you think
I
about switching the Blitz to the Buck, actually?
Oh, I mean, this site is vertical, right? You have to have control. If you can get control of mining, you can get control of above on this objective. The vertical is extremely useful on this objective, and I feel you're silly to attack it without bringing something to play into that, whether it's a sledge, whether it's a ram, or in this case, the buck. You want to be playing that vertical game, and the shield just seems like the natural thing to forego from this lineup here. Next, 3 of those operators quite heavily on the utility. Sagrana are actually going to be swapping over towards the Jackal. So they obviously have to read that the visual's running about, and the Jackal is one of the few roam clear operators that can actively identify him while he's got his scanner activated, or cloaking device rather.
Either way is completely correct, but now I'm a wee bit more worried. The fact that they're opening sight and getting ready for this gunfight. White Stairs is about to become a shootout. I gotta say, I do love a Melusi now. I've been playing her a lot more, but I can only see that this Vigil Melusi are going to be holding White hard.
If I'm being honest with you, I'm surprised not to see the visual roaming a little bit deeper, perhaps towards the floor above even. It's one we do often see on this kitchen floor. It surprises me, especially from a team like Diavoli, to be playing it so close to their chests so early onto the round, because it gives Next relative free control over the map, and they're able to make things work quite early on, quite quickly. And you can see the attackers are already storming through this top floor, and yet again, sure, they're going to have to drone these things out, but there's going to be no one there to slow them down or stop them, and it feels like in the next 30 seconds or so, they're already going to start to eye up the objective, and that's some great time management from the attacking side.
Already droned upstairs, already droning middle floor. Deimos is already going to hopefully jump in and then just watch White, making sure that Buck has the ability to clear out as much as he can, clear the utility, and then hopefully get a kill on this person trying to sneak up this Legion. The Echo drone being used as his own personal drone now, but he backs off after shooting a drone. Buck now knows he's there, but he's still hesitant.
Swapping mags!
Gotta say,
Cool.
well, you mentioned vertical accessibly for this, so I'm wondering, do you think that they should have brought somebody such as Ashbuck or somebody who could also open up that white wall now? Oh, the repel, but it doesn't matter. Legion gets the kill. Sorry, as I was saying.
Yeah, no, I think the vertical, definitely, I mean, you want as much to bring as you can, of course. Don't get me wrong, the operators on the other side of Next, you know, Jackal will bring that secondary, Shorty, no doubt. Ace, worst comes to worst, you can use those. Selma swiping up, but look at the free intel being provided here. But the issue is, you've got the shotgun in hand. Pingwing's not quick enough on the swap over. RWL finds the elimination back towards the button, and it's making things harder right now for this attack. They must try to push on in towards VIP, but a cross being held by RWL denies it. But the players, they're falling apart elsewhere. Next are down just to 1 now. The Jackal is all that remains. Sagrana 5-1 to this point in the game. Going to need to find 3 more to bring this round back. 30 seconds to do it. Diffuser is not in hand as well. It's going to be a really tough ask, a really, really tall order ahead of you. And the time could just be used by the defensive here. They're going to hold their positions. They're going to hold the cross angles. They're not going to be giving anything away here. Jackal looking for those footsteps, not able to find any. They know about the player playing on the red stairs, but he's done a 360 at the completely the wrong moment. And it gives the first round going the way of Diavoli.
That is what Diavoli needed. A nice oppressive round to actually dissect the enemy, know how their playstyle is, know what they should be doing. That puts them finally on the board. I'm a wee bit wondering though, because you did say that Jackal could have opened it. There's a couple people who could have got that, but you didn't think about it. The Deimos pistol, it only had to break a couple areas and it would have been opened immediately.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling that if they thought about just rushing sight, they probably would have got a better chance of going for the kill or using the Deimos to ping somebody inside because they'd scammed most of the operators.
By attackers.
There's definitely a lot of options there, and obviously Next, well, they didn't need to I didn't explore them all, and I think that's what really cost them for that one, right? Because, of course, Diavoli just able to hold it down. And the key part really there was the kills. Clearing out the players. That player towards VIP, you had RWL from inside of sight holding the cross from across Freezer. That's exactly the kind of team play that you want to be seen from the defensive round. And, well, while the first 2 sites on the top floor, they weren't too successful for the defense, finally success has been found on Kitchen, and Diavoli, they're going to continue their rotation around, avoiding that top floor like they're playing, and we're going to be heading down to Fireplace to see if they can continue their streak there.
Attackers must
I completely agree. Looking at Fireplace, it's somewhere I don't get to play a lot of. I don't actually have games where we go to this one. All my rank stacks are top floor, bottom, then we die, we lose, doesn't matter, we die, we lose. And then we're attack. I always start attacking as 3-1. Never any other way about it. Mute C4, he's waiting.
Oh, this could be... Here's the steps, but unfortunately doesn't quite find the mark. That's unfortunate, but they do see him though, and he knows he's been spotted out, so I guess the choice is going to be retreat here, because the attack, well, they're going to be knocking on your door anytime soon. Aaron, my friend, it's time to make a quick getaway, because otherwise you're going to be in a really difficult spot here. Mute Jammers being taken out there by the Twitch drone, weakening the utility, making it even easier for this attack to sort of encroach on this top floor.
I think you might be surprised that I don't think the Twitch drone's going to get much more utility. That's both of them gone, and that Mute's not going to fall off. He's going to want to fight this out and hold upstairs. But Fenrir hoping for the run out, which is going to be the more scary thought, holding both the long angle and new balcony.
And it's an early one there to start off for Diavoli, but immediately they get one back the other way. 4 versus 4 now. Just over half the round left to play. The Kapkan's gone down, so has the Twitch. 2 operators, Holders Dime is in siege, but regardless of, halfway through, 8 players still standing, and the key is here, Aaron, still up on this top floor, still needs to be cleared out.
It's a 4v4, so this should be in their favor, but there we go. As you said, should have left, but Dokebu was able to get the frag onto him. It was a nice, easy pick, no risk, high reward. But now, the Castle's going to try and peek him while he's swinging around the windows. So, Dokebu has 2 options here. Either go for the kill and just keep fighting the Castle window, or go rotate to red.
Located by attackers.
What do you think the plan is?
I think the plan is just try and wait a little bit. You have to put a pause on things for a moment. Penguins getting the vertical opened up here, and that's exactly what Next are going to need to do. They've got the checklist done, and now they need to relocate. The issue is here, is do they have to read on RW? Well, yes, they do. Blank has been shut down, and that should be the round with it for the side of Next. 2 players remain on the side of Diavoli, and they're isolated. They're on their own. Can't really support each other as of now. And with the Logic Bomb raining on him, it's all on Kixi here, hopping in towards the objective site now. Going to be stalled out by the FNAT mine, but as you can see, the defense, they're still reducing down. Just to 1 remaining, and then from the hatch all the way up above, Sagrana finds it. Next, take a 3-1 lead.
That's not what you want to see. Even in that sort of situation, you want to hopefully have someone pick it off and then put yourself in a much better position. But in this case, they just didn't have the utility or the guns to plan it out. They somewhat used the time wisely now. I'm hoping they've realized that they're playing this too defensive sided. They're thinking everything's going to fall in the lap. You have to remember, this team wants to fight. Diavoli should do the same. They should start getting into the aggression, getting into the gunfights, winning with their own ability.
Attackers need to locate and
that's it. Diavoli, they're a team that I know they can play aggressively, but they're not. They're playing a little bit timid almost, as you say. I think it's really costing them, because right now they're kind of just being pushed around a little bit right now by Next. Next are playing a very reactive, very aggressive playstyle, and it's just a good steady pacing that I think is really working for them at the minute. It's paying off for them. They've got a 3-1 lead. If you ask me, they've already hit where they need to be on the attacking side. 3 rounds is about a good go for the half of it, so anything they take at this point is just extra. For Diavoli, there's some serious catching up that needs to happen in these next 2 rounds.
I completely agree. I am wondering something though. They brought Mira, but Mira is deciding to completely reinforce Bathroom. So are they planning on just using the Mira to hold the opposite side of sight and hold the Bathroom freezer? But it doesn't matter. Mira's going to go for the spawn peak instead, getting Habana the heartbeat off the board. There's only Ace left.
That is huge pick to be finding early on there. Exactly what Diavoli needed. We said they needed to up the aggression a little bit. And well, they're going to do exactly just that. Hard breach lost early on. Look at this, Devils. You had a teammate drone down in that position just a second ago there. And immediately you're back down there looking to contest it yet again. Going to fall back off it, however. But still, they're just showing the level of confidence that Diavoli are playing with right now. They might be 3-1 down, but it's not slowing them at all. They're still doing their work. They're still pushing up through. Twitch drones, Ash Chargers doing the work on the utility. But the question is, can Next make the conversion from this man disadvantage?
I believe they'll be able to for one reason. They've just dropped straight in upstairs, going for the swing, going for the aggressive plays, as we said.
Ash is standing there on a desk. Marat choosing to swing it out with the pistol here. Ben taking a little bit of damage. It's Ring Around the Roses. He's running all over the place here. And it's all down to one for next. And Diavoli, they just answer it back. They just get the way all on through and through. They take it. They get themselves up and they keep themselves here at a point where they're one away from tying it up. A much better round from them, a good bit of aggression, a good bit of response, and of course a situation when they are going to be happy to be in.
All right, sorry about that as well. Everything sort of just cut out for one spot. Perfectly back, do not worry. Gotta say though, I'm really wondering about how these guys are going to play this again. Looking at this round, they're thinking, you know what, we can hold this better. We know what we're going to do. I think they're being a wee bit more on the stubborn side. What do you say?
Yeah, I think they're looking at this one, and look at this, the kitchen site's back up here. Diavoli completely shut out the kitchen site when it was played previously. So I'm looking at this one and I'm going, Diavoli, they're in a good position now to try and equalise this half, which, considering how it started, I think is a really good turnaround for them here. Keeps them still alive and fighting on Cafe. Of course, lineup is similar to what they were doing before going the Vigil. Instead, actually going to be going towards Solace pick. And I don't know about you, Drago, but I really like this operator, even after all her nerfs.
Solace is one of my favorites. I'm still a bit sad about the fact that Gadget can't be used during the prep phase. But it does mean your drones are safe. I get why it's there, but it's too rude. You shouldn't be able to nerf somebody just because they're such a strong operator for that. Because it's not like, oh, sometimes you just want to save the gadget, you don't want to have to waste it. Now it's available. That's what it gets seen. But Hughes getting outside the bakery window, early pick, so aggressive. That was Flores getting taken off. Pixie, ouch, unlucky.
And you've really got to question it. 2 spawn peaks in a row attempted from Diavoli, 2 successes on it, and it seems like next, well, they're repeating themselves as well. Going to be just going in here, looking to get aggressive, charge on through, charging across, in towards Bakery. No one's really dying just as of yet. It's a stalemate that can't be cleaned out here. You can see it, the players, but the one coat check dies first, and that's the go signal. In comes the blitz. Ben, Sograda, getting a killer piece here, making a 2 versus 4. Diavoli, they're being brought back down. One on site, Marat. Not long for this world, it will seem, going down, and Devils left on the flank with it all to do in a 1 versus 4.
Good operator to actually be left in the 1v4 because he should be able to see the gadget. He should be able to see the plant going down with his gadget, but he's not going to worry about it. He's going to focus on where the enemies actually are. Now the diffuser goes down, it's painful. I do love the P90 though, it's just beautiful. Come on, you can swing this and get this. Oh. Unlucky for him, Lion gets the swing, gets the beautiful shot onto the Solus as well.
Cast it. Shame to existence there, unfortunately. Don't expect it to be 90. I guess not. And I'm going to throw it out there. When I play Solace, hear me out. Shotgun. Shotgun SMG combo. That's the way to do it.
I'm okay with it, but I do like the double SMGs just because I'm not here to help my team. I'm here to frag out and win.
Bert. Yeah. Yeah, I think Solace is one of those. She's in one of those weird positions where either one can be really used. I think here. I think you can really use either the SMG or the shotgun, of course. Here, of course, folks, we are just heading towards a very minor little tech pause here, just yet again. So do not worry. We'll be back with the game hopefully soon. Hopefully a little bit faster than perhaps last time. We'll just have to wait and see. But regardless, first half's over, said and done with. Now, Drago, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. How are you feeling about this game now we've seen the first 6 rounds of it?
So now that we've seen the first 6, it's close, but it is a difference in strategy. It's not a difference in playstyle, as I originally thought. Because that first round, I was thinking, okay, one guys are being a bit slower, one guy's being aggressive. Now that it's close to the switch, it's for me just thinking about, okay, no, they're both aggressive teams, but one of them is being calm, cool aggression, getting ready to pounce. The other one is just, what's the best way of saying this? Where you're always hyper, where you're always ready to get into it.
Very proactive play style, I feel we're seeing.
That's better way of saying it.
They're being very much in your face constantly. And it's working to a degree. I think eventually Next are reading into that a very aggressive play style. They are working it out. And I think you can't rely on that aggression constantly. You do eventually need to dial it down and go a bit deeper in the strategy pool and try and find something else there, because just relying solely on that aggression, it can only get you so far through shock and awe factor alone. Eventually, strategy needs to come into it, and I think that's where Next right now are just a little bit superior.
I completely agree. Looking at how their playstyles worked out for them, though, Next is thinking a lot more. I'd say there's a couple more brain cells on that team, not just shared between the whole team, but, you know, everyone's got their own brain, their own thought processes. As you can see, they're adapting. They're thinking about how to change and how to improve, even though the match is going on. They're not just having a strict playbook they follow. They're looking at it and be like, all right, you know what? These guys are playing a bit more like rank stars for this setup. Let's push and just walk straight into sight. That's what we wanted to see from previous teams. So I'm happy I actually get to see some improvement live while the match is going on from NXT.
Yeah, it's nice to see that adaptation coming on through. And it's the sign of a really great quality team, you know, to be able to make that adaptation midway through the game without a tactical timeout as well being taken. No, nothing talking with the coach, nothing else talking with anyone else. It's really good to see that constant sort of flow coming on through for these teams. And it's nice to see that improvement being made. It shows a good dynamic side. So we could, of course, just have to wait and see how this one is going to pan out. Of course, the sides are swapping over. And I think one thing is with all games of Siege is the state of the game can totally change as soon as we end up on the second half, right? Because attackers are now defenders, defenders are now attackers, and you're playing in what feels like a very different game, and that can often throw total chaos into these lobbies.
All right, well, I'm just thinking about this. You can stop me from wrong, but as you've seen these guys playing, what do you think is going to happen in the second half of the match? You think they're more favoring top floor, more favoring downstairs, more rushes, or do you think they're going to start trying to slow it down now that the break's happening?
I think Diavoli, they're going to continue their aggression, right? I don't think they're going to slow it down at all. I think we're going to see a lot of rush rounds from them. And as you sort of say, the defense, they're going to start on the top, go down to kitchen, go towards the middle side, as we fairly standard see from them. I don't think Next are going to play anything crazy out of the box here. I think their fundamentals are very solid as a team, and that's very much what they're relying on. Whereas Diavoli, they like to play aggressive. They like to play a little bit outlandish play style almost. And we've seen it work. We've seen it not work. It's mixed success kind of play style. The question, I think, for me really lies in whether it's going to transition over towards their attack and whether it's going to really sort of have any success going in towards this second half. Because you rush into the attack once, it sometimes works. But then my concern, what happens the second time?
I completely agree. I've just been told by our production that we're going to head to a quick break. You're going to have to give us a couple minutes. So everyone, give us 2 seconds. Thank you. Come right back. Nobody leave. Just sit there, eat some Haribos. We'll be coming right back.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I apologize to anyone who went to pee. You're probably going to miss this round. But we're getting straight back into it. The player's back. All the tech problems have been fixed. So give us a couple seconds. So,
Yeah.
Trevor, give me a bit more of your downtime to this.
Oh, my downtime was spent pondering. What does this second half of the game look like for Next? I think it's much easier to read them. A standard play style, a standard go at it. For the side of Diavoli, well, I'm looking at them as one big
Attackers have
question
discovered the
mark,
location
right?
of a bomb.
How does this pan out for
10
them?
seconds left
How
before
do
insertion.
they play this? How do they go about it? It's a really big question mark right now, and I suppose the only answers are really going to be lying in what's going to be happening next in this half. A fairly standard operator lineup, nothing too crazy we've seen from either side really here. So I'm curious to see what the play style is going to look like, because they're going to be the real defining factors of this round 7.
I completely agree and completely understand. Looking at how this goes, this mirror setup a bit slow on the startup, so I'm thinking that we're going to hopefully see a rush from the attack now. They're not going to let them set up. They're not going to let them continue. They're going to quickly set everything in motion and then just wipe out the enemy.
Speed is key. Speed can win these games. Is it going to work for Diavoli, though? That is going to be the question going to be asked of them. Can they make fast and aggressive work? Because if they're just running and hopping blindly here, they've got mirror windows to face up with. Castle barricades as well, going to be limited in their rotation options. Exactly what Rotero is going to be coming in to try and deal with them where they can. As well, Heat Jammers as well, causing some nuisance of their own. Just opening up possibilities here for the attack. That's going to be the start of this early round for them.
I completely agree. Looking at how they're setting up this, it seems like they're just going to go in for the last 30 seconds. Nope. Here we go. So you've got one on the staircase, just thinking it's going to hold it, but I think he's going to start peeking that hatch and getting aggressive.
He's got to, right? He can hear. Oh, he can hear the player on the window. This is either going to be huge for Kingsley, or it's going to be huge the other way, and it's going to be huge for Diavoli. Alred drops in there on the hatch, gets the kill, takes a lot of damage for it, but matters not, finds success through, and it's a 4 versus 4 kill elsewhere, of course, has happened. Going the way of next, and now the attack need to try and look in how they're going to get towards this objective, because they need to hop in, they need to try and get across. How can they cross this gap over this little bit of a no man's land?
No, it doesn't matter. The answer is run straight ahead, but the Capitao cannot make the shot. Oh, the nades for days. Everything one by one is getting a cross out. Mirror getting picked off as well by the Buck.
Turning into a little bit of a rule house up here, but it's next coming out on top, but they can't stay up there because the trades keep coming back on through. Diavoli keep us level. 2 versus 2 remaining for this round. Choose at RWL versus Penguin and Ben. All that remain in this one. 30 seconds left to go for here. Attack going to be sending in the final Rotero drone now to scout out ahead to try and find the possibilities. They see both players. That's absolutely massive here for the side of Diavoli, because it gives them the window pushing on forwards. All they need to do is take down Ben. All they need to do is take down this player behind the reinforced wall. But now they know there's a flank against them. And look at this, the mirror window. It's being used here, and it's working for them. Attention split. What can Diavoli do? Choose 1 versus 2. Wants to swing it close, finds one, but does he know where the seconds run off to? No, he does not, and the clock is going to be his mortal enemy there. Just about staying alive, and next, start off the half with a great round for them.
That's not the situation you want to put yourself in. You want to have either the diffuser down or decide we have to go for the kills. It was unlucky, but the wooden cross at just the right time to make sure there's nothing they could do. I've got to say that was a wooden clutch for sure, with a castle being used as a great bait. But now we have to be a little bit more concerned. NXT, I have a feeling that they're not going to play this like they just did. They're not going to make sure people are dying, their sacrifices has to be made. But, oh, the first fun fact. You want to read it out?
Yeah, go on. Ben traded in 7 out of 12 rounds. This is, of course, talking about last week's Monday's game. Of course, within 20 seconds of dying, and that statistic, that's good talent to have. Trades, I mean, we've spoken quite a lot on them tonight, haven't we, Drago? Talked a lot about the trade game, a lot about how important it is that when you go down, there is someone there to provide the support. There is someone there to try and support you, bring yourself back up to at least equalize that man count. And good news for the side of Ben, over on the side of Next. They've been able to find just that. Good bit of success in the trade game, and that's going to really help them, you know, continuing through this one.
I'm going to believe that Ben was trading off of Kixie just like this match. Every time he's following him around, making sure to get that frag just after. Looking at how these teams play, how they've set up, do you think this blitz could be a rush, or do you think this blitz is going to try and just use as a virtual Monty?
I think he's going to be used as a budget Monty with a little bit of sight execute utility power on him with the flash as well. Key is going to be getting these roams cleared out first. You can see he's up there at the top here with the striker, looking to make the hop on him behind the drone. Going to be scouting out anyone roaming on the side of Next. Well, they're going to be met with a shield in their face very, very early on here. That's going to be the goal and the game plan here from Diavoli. Force these players out down and early. Sagrada going to, of course, be the one tucked up here in Cocktail. Does he know what's coming? He'll hear the shield running about, hear the shield going, and eventually prompt the drop down. But Devils ready there for the catch. Finds the player, and immediately Diavoli. It's some great teamwork. Putting the blitz to good use and good start to the round.
I've got to say that new blitz ability where his gun stays behind the shield when he reloads. It's so destructive. But as you can see, it's not all powerful. Anytime you get stung with a Legion Mine, it would have been good to keep him on the board. Oh, hold on. Is he going to be able to get the nice long angle into Baker? Does not matter. Ben ends up getting a pick on Striker.
Yeah. And Ben, well, eventually is going to be traded back himself. But look at this. Kixie all the way up on the top floor, drops down. Penguin up there for the support. Penguin up with 2 huge kills. Diavoli are just being ripped to shreds right now. The blitz we've spoken ever so much about is all that remains here. A 1 versus 2. Matt. Fuse is cold. The players are Next. They're hiding about it upstairs, and they know where you are now. And in a shield, the last thing you want to be in is a 1 versus 2. C4s are available to them. Shotguns available to both. Primary for one, secondary for the other. All they need to do is bide the clock, bide the time, and not let him get too close.
I think you might be wrong about that. It looks like it's trying to make sure they have to get close. Make sure they can get any angle they can onto his shoulders. But he gets the pick, but there's the wall bang from Benmir.
Much better there from Next, responding to aggression with some aggression of their own, and it's going to pay off because they have got themselves the very first match point of this series and the most dominant match point we've seen basically all night. 6-2 as the scoreline stands. 4 rounds in a row required from Diavoli to bring this one all the way up through in towards an overtime, and the possibility of clutching it up all the way up. The Next 1 round is all they need, and they will be getting all of the points from this game.
I'm hoping to see a C4 come out now, or maybe even a fuse or something from the attack. Somebody to hopefully disrupt this team. But you can see, we may not get that chance.
Yeah, time, I suppose, is going to be the essence of it. Next, they're on a little bit of a winning streak right now. 3 rounds in a row. And they're going to, of course, be looking for that 4th one here. Tertiary bomb site, so it's not the end of the world if they lose it, but it's still not the greatest position for Diavoli. The comeback, well, now's a better time than ever to start it. No, well, there is no time than now, really, because you lose this one, that is the game gone, done and dusted. It's going to have to be perfection from here on out, and we're going to see likely what we used to seeing from them through. It is, of course, going to be top floor clear, start up top, play that vertical, work your way down. Diavoli, they've got the ram, they've got the sledge, 2 operators for it. And, well, we're going to be in for a spicy one.
Gotta say, though, I do like the fact of bringing Castle to hopefully slow down the attackers. But the attackers, they've brought Sledge, which those are just regular barricades at this point. He's got to get close, but he's going to hopefully be able to do what he needs to. Devil's going to have to rise to the occasion now and summon that demonic power that he's been using in the previous matches.
Yeah, going to have to bring it all the way into this one to be able to get it across the line. It's tough, certainly, but look at that. They've spotted one of the players up here. Eventually, he's going to drop back down. There's still quite a presence on this top floor from Next, and a presence that needs to be cleared out here.
Reloading, cover me!
Having Blitz again try and push the Goyo, hopefully to make sure that there's nothing to stop them from clearing upstairs, but they're just not planning for the fight. They're just going to wait and just time it all out. Hopefully push right through. Oh, but it's been reinforced.
Yeah. Ace is there, going to get it wide on open, making things harder for the attack here. But look at this, Next they're looking to get aggressive. Kixie on a huge swing, Sagrada with one elsewhere, leaving this blitz all on his own, trying to pick up the pieces, trying to pick up the diffuser as the world comes crashing down around him. Oda is all that stands, all that remains. You're on the roof to hop in here in a 1 versus 5. You drop down. what can you get going? You've got the R4C, often known as one of the best guns in the game, but it's not going to be enough here. Next, they're going to take it in a dominant 7-2 fashion. And in a matchup that I think a lot of us had high hopes for, it's going to go out on quite a quiet one. Next, just playing on a different level tonight, and they get a well-deserved win off the back of it.
I've got to say, Next really impressed me with that match. What did you think?
Yeah, Next the whole way through that one, incredibly impressive all the way through. You've got to give it to Sagrana, 12-5, Ben as well, 9-5. So many great players stepping up there from the side of Next. All bar one player was positive throughout that entire game there. So really great performance on their side. It's unfortunate for Diavoli, but of course, at the end of the day, there has to be a winner, there has to be a loser. And I have no doubt in my mind, they will be coming back, of course, stronger. They've already won a game this group stage. They'll be looking to do it again next time around, of course. So I think after all's being said and done with that one, impressive performance from Next, and I'm really looking forward to that next game they've got for them.
I'm happy to hear that. So I'm going to send us up to standings because I want to see where everyone sits after today's game. It was really impressive to see just all these different teams work out. Each match wasn't the same. Each match was completely different. So let's have a look, see at the standings. Wow.
Oh,
So
that
Turks
is-
LFO being now the top, tied with NZXT. Not only with points, but only difference is the diff points of 3 rounds.
Round differential. I want to throw something in here, of course, because Year of the Snake had to end up having last week's game, Monday's game, as a forfeit. If you were to take the score of that game as 7-3, Turks and Next would be identical currently in the standings, which would be a really, really interesting one, because just to tease you all a little bit, I'm looking ahead to Playday number 3. And Drago, do you know what I spot?
What do you spot?
The top 2 teams currently, Turks LFO and Next, going up against each other. That one, final game of next Playday, that is going to be an absolute scorcher of a game, because right now, from what I've seen tonight, seeing pretty much all of the teams play through here, those 2 are the ones that are standing out to me at the minute as the forerunners. And seeing them go head to head, I think that's going to be a real treat.
I completely agree. But I'm not going to hold out hope for Psychopathos not to rise. I do think after next week's games, they're going to be looking for NXT for a really good game. And that's what I'm hoping for next. Gunners as well. Gunners, I do believe, could take on Wild or Diavolo and, just show how they can rise and destroy their opponent if they use their brains for a couple seconds. That's it. So that's the standings. We're just going to probably end it in the next couple minutes. Is there anything you'd like to say? Final words?
Not really, if I'm being honest with you. Impressive play day from a lot of these teams here. I think there's obviously still quite early on, and as you say, as I said at the start, we're starting to see that formulation between the middle of the bracket teams, the bottom of the bracket teams, as well as the teams that are really starting to cement themselves at the top. So I think we're really starting to shake things up here for a really, really exciting play day number 3. That one will, of course, that'll be over on Monday, same time, same Twitch channel. Nowhere to find, of course. Voltage, go follow all the socials there to catch all the action. And Drago, if you've got anything else to say, I think that's about it for Playday number 2.
Nothing I'm going to say. Just tune in next time. I'll hopefully be your cast again. If not, I'll probably be Mr. Traver here. And say thank you to everyone who's our production, Rowan, and thank you to our caster, an observer today, Gamma. Today was beautiful games, beautiful people, boiling hot, so go drink some water and rest up. We'll catch you all next time.
I must have went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope you're trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you're with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room. $1 and I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. 'Cause being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. 'Cause darling, I've been looking for you. Yeah, I'm looking for you. For you. I'm looking for you. For you. Let's get it now. I'm so up, I could be a pilot. Be a pilot. Be a pilot. I'm so up, I could be a pilot. Beat. Let's get it now. Let's get it now.